Carbon World Health isn't just a gym, it's a total wellness experience. Visit carbonworldhealth.com to learn more.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
This is Wisconsin Volleyball National Champion Devin Robinson. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. What the heck is going on with Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks? ESPN's NBA insider Brian Windhorst was on First Take yesterday, and he thinks a trade is becoming more and more likely.
More likely by the hour, honestly, more likely by the hour. And I think really what this kind of is, nobody wants to be the bad guy, but everybody wants the best term.
Stay up to date on all things Bucks and Giannis related by heading over to ESPN.com. Sticking with the Milwaukee Bucks, they're at home tonight hosting the Denver Nuggets. The Bucks are currently 6.5-point favorites in the 8:30 p.m. tip-off. Coverage will start at 8 p.m. right here on Madison's home for Milwaukee Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. In college hoops, the Badgers got a big win out in Pennsylvania last night, taking down Penn State 98-71. Wilde and Tausch starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison.
It is the Friday edition. And you know what the sound of my voice means when we start the show. A couple of people might be happy, and a lot of people are like, oh, man, no Jason today. He is on assignment for this Friday. The Friday edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, the ESPN Wisconsin App, live video streaming on the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. My name is Jesse Nelson. I am normally the producer of this show. Today I am the cousin sub of the day, hosting alongside the Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer at his undisclosed location, Mark Tauscher. Hunter Vaughn, by the way, our cousin sub of the day, producing the show. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Tausch, good morning. Happy cold day to you. How are you?
Yeah, a lot of stuff canceled. Tell me if I'm wrong. I know I've been a little raspy the last couple. Do I sound better than I did
today.
yesterday?
You sound normal today. Yeah.
So you know what's interesting? Because as I was talking with my wife and Eleanor this morning, I said, hey, do I sound – because I feel a lot better. Yesterday, if I'm being honest, if I was you, I would have taken off.
Yeah.
I felt crusty.
I feel fantastic.
And well, it obviously didn't sound
wasn't
to
that bad. That's legendary bad.
No, it wasn't even. It wasn't even close.
You were under the weather though yesterday. I think everyone
for
listening
sure.
understood, but you could power through.
So, and I was going to come in studio today, and obviously I didn't want to get you sick. And they said, no, you sound the same. So then I'm kind of like, well, what are you talking about? I said, I know I feel better, and I sound better. So it's miserable out. This is these are those days that I think everybody, claims Wisconsin is like all the time. And if I'm being honest, I don't mind that people feel that way because I like Wisconsin the way it is. These are part of the days. It's better. This will sound crazy, but this is better than when we had all that nice snow, and then we had that stretch where it got to be 50 degrees and muddy and mucky in the middle of, or the early part of January. I prefer this in January than I do with the muck. And I know that is, most people are going to say you're nuts. That's just how I feel.
844-770-3776 is the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Liz is more. I did want to take a moment here before we dive further into this to say hello, because we may have a new audience joining us today. Those who are off of school or home from work and aren't able to join us on a regular basis. A lot of things canceled across the entire state of Wisconsin today. So welcome to the show if you are new to us today. I'm not normally in this chair. Normally I am the producer of the show, Jason Wilde, 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. Normally the host of the show. He is not here today. As far as I know, I don't know if he's busy putting the little booties on the dogs like he talked about doing yesterday or what he's up to. But the plan is not for him to join us today. He was on standby if you were under the weather.
Yeah, he needs a day. He always is complaining. The show can't function. And listen, we love Jason. He is great on the show. I want to make sure I preface that. But you can take a day. My wife says I should. Take a beat. I'm glad Jason's got the day. It's hilarious to me that he's sitting there putting, little Poochie boots on his dog to go out because they're so cold. That to me is whatever. Dogs.
In fairness, it is the responsible thing to do on days like this. Now, do you do it when it's like 15 degrees outside? No, I wouldn't.
There has to be a temp where you don't take the dog out. You just let the dog.
I got yelled at for opening the door to let our dog out at 9:00 last night. You cannot let the dog. It's freezing. I said he has to pee somewhere. Dog has to go pee.
You should have sang "Who Let the Dog Out."
Well,
you should have just sang that song.
But we knew it was me. I was opening the door. Becca woke up. She fell asleep watching a show. She wakes up. She goes, "You can't let the dog." I'm like, "What do you mean he can't let the dog? He has to go potty."
Yeah, you got to let the dog out at some point. The booties, while weird if you don't have a dog, you realize that if they can tolerate having it on their paws, they need them because it gets bad.
And especially you get the salt on the road.
In there.
Right. Yeah, it's for their protection, Tausch. There's a responsibility to putting the booties
I get
on
it.
the dog.
Tausch isn't quite a dog guy yet. We're getting there.
I'm
not quite yet.
I am getting closer. Augie being down here a bunch the last 4 or 5 weeks has kind of won me over a little bit. So who knows? I'm saying we're closer than ever. I know Eleanor is not listening today, so I can say that, even though everybody's off of school. Quick question for you boys.
Sure.
This is a big point of contention for me, so I want you to answer honestly. When you have let's call it, it's not a coupon, a certificate. I'm not giving out any free advertising. For a potential airline. And the date of expiration is 1/31. Do you need to book the ticket by 1/31 or do you need to fly by 1/31? How would you interpret that? Go.
Okay, I've never been in this situation. We have had certificates for an airline before, but we used it well before the date that was the expiration date.
Even though they
listed.
black out every blank, black out every blank and date, make it almost impossible. Okay, continue. I want to make sure I preface that.
My understanding would be it would be whenever your time of payment would be due for your flight.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of what I thought.
If you're booking a flight now for a trip in May, the expiration date of 1/31, you could use it now and it would suffice. That would be how I would interpret that, never having been in that situation before.
See, my assumption would be I would want it to be, if I book it before 1/31, I'm good. But knowing the way that airlines operate, they're going to be like, no, you have to fly out before 1/31 for it to count.
So why do you ask?
We're all on the same page. We're all on the same page because if you go, and Cousin Subs, great partner, they have vouchers that they do and deals. And in all honesty, most of these food places will give you some grace because they want your business, right? They want your business. So if you go to any of these fast food joints and they have a coupon or a voucher, you use it. You usually buy other stuff. Everybody is pretty content. Well, I go and I have a couple of trips coming up, mainly because I want to watch Landman. It's not even anything else. I have put myself in this box. I hear everybody talking about how great Landman is. It's freezing cold out, so I want to go. I want to get a little traveling. You know I love traveling.
I just want to fly around the world just so I can catch up on season 2 of Landman.
So we have, and I will not say the name of the airline because I'm just not going to do that, but I have a certificate that you pay a big boy annual fee on to have. Tried to use it, blackout dates, etc. I'm looking at going somewhere. Matter of fact, I'm going down. We're going to go down to Oklahoma because it's one of the states Sarah hasn't been to. Going to go see our buddy Brandon in Tulsa. He sent you a nice itinerary of things to do. We can hit a national park while we're. It's a nice little because with high school sports you can't take the long spring breaks that we like to do.
Can't do it. Yeah.
So we're not doing that. So I'm all set, and I go in, and this was a couple days ago, and this airline says, no, you have to fly by this date. And I'm like, well, what the hell are you talking about? No, that's not what I – so I get into this whole deal because I don't know if you know this. I get stuck on some things, and I would say it's a principle, and it is because it bothers me to no end. This thing, I am not going to spend hours because in the grand scheme of things, this is going to end up being $400 or $500. While I want to save that $400 or $500, I'm irritated. Like, I'm irritated on top of irritated that I feel like I got. Because I did. I got. And I'm not blaming anybody but me and the fact that the airline blacks out all these dates. But whatever. I'm blaming me. They refuse to let me. So I try to, and I'm not trying to pull anything, but I then call and say, here's the deal. There's this huge storm going through the plains. And basically these airlines are all giving vouchers to change the flight because nobody's going to fly. Because everything's going to get delayed. It's going to be a hot mess.
Yeah, they're already canceling flights all around the region this weekend.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I then did was, okay, I will book this flight because you're forcing me to get it booked and flown before the 31st. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm calling in and saying, oh, we got this voucher. The storm's bad. They say you can do that, but you still have to fly by the 28th.
Oh, no.
They'll give you the 3 days. I said, but I can't fly those 3 days. So after a lot of battling and competing, and I'm telling you, I competed and I battled and I battled and I competed, I got TKO'd.
No, you lost?
Yeah, and trust me, I couldn't be more disappointed.
No.
I'm not going to put this loss in the same category. I'm not going to put this loss in the same category as 4th and 26 or Oostburg versus Auburndale, or like there's some losses that will go to me with my grave. Those are some. This one's going to be with me for a while. This stung. So much so, I am done with this credit card. I'm done. It's over. Dunzo. I have retired. My irritation level, the utter arrogance of this, and the fact that they gave no grace, I flashed the deuces, and I took this loss, and I'm telling you, till the 31st of January, I'm taking this loss hard. I'm moving on, but it is non-sports related loss of just competing and thinking I could win. This is a tough loss for me. So I think the whole thing is complete crap.
Wow.
I think it's mishandled. I think it's butchered. I don't know how many other ways I can put it, but I am disgruntled beyond belief. But I am going to continue on the show. But I wanted to make sure I let you know that because it's occupied a little too much of my headspace the last couple of days.
I can tell you're very frustrated about it.
Very frustrated.
I think you should be frustrated about it. I don't think you're in the wrong in any of this. 844.
I was convinced both of you were going to say that I was in the wrong.
No.
And I'm glad. And especially Hunter is always looking.
Yeah, Hunter's kind of your nemesis
I don't want to say
on stuff like
discredit.
this. Yeah.
He's always trying to, poo-poo what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're a pretty
There's
big
nothing wrong
old
with
T
that,
nemesis.
Hunter. I don't mind a little. I like a little foil. I think a little foil's good. So
I didn't think I was that bad. I'm going to have to re-examine the way that I approach things with you.
Hunter may have been the guy on the other end of the phone that Tausch was talking to yesterday, apparently, trying to figure out this flight situation. I thought you were about to ramp up that you got a big victory in a come-from-behind fashion by saying that you were able to navigate all right, I called, I booked a flight, and then, the flight got canceled, and they end up giving you I thought you would get a victory there.
So the first person that I called could not have been ruder and just completely blech. Then I went with a different approach. I went with the empathy approach, and this gal couldn't have been nicer. She tried. She gave effort. And typically companies want to, be good business partners. Airlines are not in that business. So that's the disgruntling part. I'm disheartened, but I will move on. I will persevere. And now I'm looking for I'm not looking for anything. I'm just resigned, and that is a bad place to be. Where old T is resigned. I don't get in that area very often, but this beat me into submission, and it makes me sad. But the good news is it's cold, so I can just stew on it all day because there's nothing else to do. So there we go.
Tough break for you. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line.
How many people would take the airline side? I get there's expiration dates. I don't think there should be on gift cards. You're paying the money. They're getting interest on your money. There's a ton of things that go into it. Like lottery tickets. The fact you have to, get them paid off in 6 months or you don't get it.
You've shared the thought on the lottery tickets, yeah.
This, I think, is I don't want to go down because this, when you have an expiration date, it should be used by, not flown by. Am I crazy to say that? I'd like to hear what people have to think.
I have one question that I didn't ask you because you were on a roll, and I am on your side. I want you to know I'm on your side. I do have a question.
Where's the Hamilton soundtrack?
When did you get the gift certificate?
No, so it is a credit card certificate you get. You get 12 months. The problem is the times you want to use it. What are you shaking your head about?
Go ahead.
You get 12 months to use it. Half the time you can't use the flights you want because they're blacked out. And then it's certain areas and times you can't do it. So you can't use it multi-city. So that part, if you're flying somewhere and you're going to fly somewhere else. So there's various parts that you can't do. And so that's where it's at. So you do get 12 months to organize and book the ticket. But you really don't. You really get 5 months because people plan their trip out, and then you have to get it, so you have to get it flown by. So you're not getting 12 months. You're probably getting 5 months to book it.
12 months is a long time and a long window for you to try and capitalize on.
Do you understand that you don't get 12 months?
Yeah, I understand. You've made that point. It's a good point.
When you booked your trip to Hawaii, did you book it, or did you book it 6 months out? You didn't book it 3 days
You book it
before
multiple months in advance, of course. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
We also canceled our trip to Hawaii because of COVID restrictions, so we still haven't gone on our official honeymoon yet. In the YouTube comments here, the dwellers are chiming in. Just get points for purchases. People brag about their frequent flyer miles. I just get points money and then buy any ticket you want with no blackouts.
So whoever said that, whoever told you that in YouTube, totally agree. Totally agree. Airline certificates, they're useless. I'm out. I'm done. They're dead to me. It's over.
Are you happy that you got this off your chest? I feel like you needed this session here. So I'm glad we did this.
I'm still very, very frustrated, and I'm frustrated with myself. Very frustrated with myself.
You're more frustrated with the airline, though, if we're being honest. You're more frustrated with the airline than you are with yourself.
Yeah. I think it's a sham. I think it's shammy.
You didn't start this by saying I made a mistake and didn't get this done. You're very clearly coming for the airline, folks.
I started, where's my little Truman? I started with my little Truman.
Yeah, okay. That's what I heard.
Because I'm the one that's paying.
Rob Demovsky's coming up, bottom of the hour, 9:30. He's scheduled to appear. That means we should probably take a commercial break here pretty soon. Talking Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator search. Also going to ask you about the best moment of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season throughout the course of today's show. That's up on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed and our Wilde and Tausch Facebook page. You can chime in on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line, in the YouTube comments, wherever you can get in on the show, wherever you may be tuned in, hopefully from the warmth of your home as you join us here today on Wilde and Tausch. Tausch, it's going to be warmer in your home if you've got those great windows from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Indeed, and for your New Year's resolution, the sky is the limit. Pella's 0 interest for 4 years finance offer. No payments, no interest for 4 years. No expiration date on that. You get 4 years. You don't have to worry about all that other stuff. Think of everything you can do in 4 years. You can not redeem a certificate. You can get a college degree. You can raise your toddler till they're ready for school. Start your own journey toward meeting your personal goals and enjoy Pella's highest quality products with exclusive features custom made for your home. This deal ends January 31st. So schedule your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Someone nationally said something nice about the Packers defensive coordinator position. We'll touch on that before we get to Rob Demovsky. Coming up, Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie. Well, lately there have been a lot of things said about the average cost of new cars, and sometimes those numbers can sound pretty big. But if you're concerned about not being able to afford a new SUV at Zimbrick Chevrolet, I'm here to say you can. Head to ZimbrickChevrolet.com right now, and you can use the filters to search the vehicle inventory by price to see what I mean. Select vehicles under $30,000, and you'll find a new 2026 Trax starting at just over $25,000. Also, a new 2026 Chevy Trailblazer starting just under $26,000. And the family-friendly 2026 Chevy Equinox starts at $29,999. with over 25 different options to choose from. But if you expand the search up to $35,000, the list gets even longer, so there are still a lot of great SUVs that offer affordability. Check out all the great options, including searching by price, at ZimbrickChevrolet.com or stop in on Main Street in Sun Prairie to meet with their great team. The bottom line is, you never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Valentine's Day. And once again, you're asking yourself, is a card enough?
This year, skip the panic and give a gift that actually says, I planned ahead.
We have the perfect piece of jewelry that they'll love long after the chocolates are gone.
Because let's be honest, dinner is nice, flowers are sweet, but jewelry, that's how you win Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day done right at Chalmers Jewelers.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. We're on the Packers.
There is not going to be a ton of grace given to Matt LaFleur anymore.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The days of grace are over. It's a race to win a championship.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. No Jason. He is on assignment. He'll be back on Monday. ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Demovsky scheduled to appear coming up next. Get your bets in now on what words Rob will say that shouldn't be said on the radio.
I love the coos. The coos on Twitter. Make sure you let us know what time Demovsky's on so I can make sure my kids are in the car.
I can assure you, Rob will not share any profanities or expletives with us this week.
How are you assuring that? You assured that last week and you were wrong.
Rob and I we were catching up this week, and I think he he knows that he stepped a little over the line last week, and I will be good this week. You know,
his passion was awesome last week.
It was fantastic.
Great passion.
I recommend going back and still checking it out over at the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. We're going to ask Rob about the defensive coordinator search as that continues for the Packers up in Titletown. Interesting over at ESPN.com, a couple of national writers, Jeremy Fowler and Ben Solak, ranked the top 4 openings right now for offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators around the National Football League. They ranked the openings. When it comes to defensive coordinator, number 4, the New York Giants. Number 3, the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. And the number 1 ranked defensive coordinator opening, the Green Bay Packers. Theoretically, Tausch, to me that would say that the Packers have their pick of the litter of all the best defensive coordinator options available on the market. You would want to come to Green Bay if it's the best ranked opening available, which means this search may take a little longer because there's a bunch of names that are going to be involved. Is that what that ranking says to you?
What it says to me is it's the best opportunity for a coach to come in. You just saw Jeff Hafley get a head coaching job. You have autonomy. Your head coach is not going to be sitting there meddling with what you're doing. You're going to, and you have what I believe, and I know this will be an argument, a lot of talent, and one of the best chess pieces in all of football defensively with Micah, probably one of the best safety tandems, and an inside linebacker that you feel great about. This is a group with a team that you feel like is on the cusp, and individually, you'll be able to accomplish all of your personal goals if you go and do what you're supposed to do as the defensive coordinator. That to me is about as good of a scenario as you can get if you want to be a defensive coordinator in this league. And Jeff Hafley went from a failed head football coach at BC to being one of the highest demand head coaches in the NFL in 2 years, with a defense that was good, not great. So it goes to show you why this job would be coveted, and I couldn't agree more with that assessment by whoever wrote that article.
It was Ben Solak and Jeremy Fowler. Again, over at ESPN.com, you can find it. Coaching edge rusher Micah Parsons sure sounds pretty
that
cool.
Somebody can't write their own articles? They have to share?
No, they're
Everything
they do this whole thing where there's like a back and forth. Solak writes part of it, Fowler writes part of it. It's like a conversation. It's a style of article that
So
you
it's like
can
they're
write.
doing a radio show on paper.
Yes, in digital internet reading
close
form.
enough. I had a question for both of you guys because I've been thinking about this with this defensive coordinator search. Do you think there's any conversation where they're trying to also find a guy that they feel like can help this defense get through what could be about a quarter to a third of the season of not having Micah? Because obviously the defense is going to be very different once he comes back. And like how much pressure there is on this season. Like they can't start off slow as a defense when you don't have Micah.
I don't think. I mean, obviously, you never know how a guy recovers. I would be surprised if it was, all the way through October. We'll see, right? But no, I don't think that you want to have someone that has a philosophy in a scheme that is going to be aggressive. I know Matt LaFleur's thoughts. What drives him nuts is the same thing that drives fans nuts. When it's 3rd and 8, don't let a guy run an 8.5-yard route to the sticks and pick up a first down. Be aggressive. And where I thought last year went a little south was we didn't have enough lost yardage, game-changing plays. How many strip sacks did we see? How many? The fact that we didn't make as many lost yardage plays, whether that's blitzes or simulations, you need to be able to do things without Micah. You can't just bank on one guy. But when you give up the assets you did, you better make sure you're utilizing that one guy in even a better way than what they did this last year.
Maybe Hunter's question is one of the questions we'll ask ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Demovsky on the defensive coordinator search. He is scheduled to appear coming up next. We know, Tausch, whoever takes over as the Packers defensive coordinator will certainly be dreaming fearlessly about what the Packers can do next year and what they may be able to do in their careers after Green Bay.
Indeed, American Family Insurance, a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch from the jump. And since 1927, they've been committed to making life better with outstanding home and auto protection. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams. I'll tell you what, I had a little windshield crack, and with this cold, that crack, I was going to just kind of let it sit there. It was right on the edge, and then it's now into the middle of my windshield. Called American Family Insurance. Boom, boom, boom. They're coming out, I think, today. You're going to throw me a new windshield. That's the kind of service you get with American Family Insurance. So insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
Get your dump buttons ready. Rob Demovsky scheduled to appear next on Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Packers.
This 2 or 3 year window needs to yield a championship.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
When you bring back everybody, Mr. Policy is telling you we're winning a championship.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
At Carbon World Health, feeling your best isn't a luxury, it's a lifestyle. From advanced aesthetics and rejuvenating med spa treatments to personalized wellness care, everything there is designed around you. Whether you're refreshing your look, boosting your confidence, or investing in total body wellness, Carbon World Health combines medical expertise with a spa-like experience you'll love. Discover the med spa Sun Prairie is talking about. Book your consultation today at Carbon World Health, where wellness meets results.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker, And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big, and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution, and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Chalmers Jewelers is hosting our annual Wedding Band Trunk Show, and you don't want to miss it.
Join us February 20th in Madison and the 21st and 22nd in Middleton.
Our wedding band vendors will be in-house, bringing their entire collections, featuring styles and designs you won't normally see.
This is your chance to find the band that tells your story. But appointments are filling up fast, so reserve your spot today.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Feel the thrill, chase the excitement, and win big. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's no chill on the deals at Metro Ford of Madison. Right now, get into a 2025 Ford F-150 with 2.9% APR for up to 66 months plus $2,000 retail bonus cash. Looking for something sporty? Check out the 2025 Ford Bronco Sport with 3.9% APR up to 66 months, $2,500 bonus cash. Or lease for $319 a month with $38.49 due at signing. But hurry, offer ends February 2nd. Visit MetroFordofMadison.com.
What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. You know that honey-do list that's been sitting on your counter since what, 2020? Yeah, we can handle that. From leaky faucets to light fixtures, our handyman team at Bruner Realty fixes it all. Fast, friendly, and done right the first time. We take care of it so you don't have to. Visit fixedbybruner.com. That's fixedbybruner.com. Because your to-do list deserves a happy ending.
We're on the Badgers.
Luke, what was it about Colton Joseph that you had to have him?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
First and foremost, he's a winner, and he's a leader.
Nobody covers the Cardinal and White like 100.5 ESPN.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason Wilde on assignment. The Packers' search for a defensive coordinator continues. And for the latest insights on what the team may choose to do, we welcome back ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter in one of the most highly anticipated segments in Wilde and Tausch history. Rob Demovsky joins the show. Good morning, Rob. How are you?
I'm great. Why would this be highly anticipated? It's just another Friday.
Rob, I'll tell you what, man. You moved the needle last week. I don't know if you know how long you're going to continue to do this. I don't know if you can beat what you did last week. I don't know if that's going to be possible. It's tough. It's a tough bar to crawl.
Yeah, well, I got chastised from management, but it is what it is.
Okay.
Not from me. I can tell you that I was one of these. That was passionate. Your passion exuded, and that's what we're always looking for is great passion. All right, Rob, what are we thinking? They brought in Al Harris. There's been a bunch of conversations about other folks. How do you see this defensive coordinator so far, and what do you think is going to end up shaking out?
Well, Tausch, I think like most Matt LaFleur interview sessions or searches for assistants, he's going to talk to a lot of guys. He's done that for just about every job opening he's had, especially coordinators. And I don't think anything happens until he can talk to Jim Leonhard. I think Jim Leonhard's high on his list. He obviously can't talk to him. And I got to be honest with you, there's some debate about when they actually can talk to him if the Broncos win. I thought, I was under the impression that they could talk to him Monday during that Super Bowl bye week, whether the Broncos win or lose. Obviously, if they lose, they can talk to him. And they're probably going to lose with, Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. But then I talked to somebody in the league who said, nope, if the Broncos win, they cannot talk to him before the Super Bowl. Only head coach candidates can interview for jobs if their teams are still playing. I don't know if that's true. I scoured the rules, the internet, and I can't find clarity on it. But long story short, they're going to talk to Jim Leonhard before any decisions made. And I think Jim Leonhard's high on the list. Jonathan Gannon's high on the list. We don't know what Raheem Morris is doing yet. Is he sitting out the year? That's one of Matt LaFleur's guys. So I do think there's a lot of options on the table. I will tell you this, and if you would have lined up, 53 guys in the locker room in 2000 and what would that have been when Al Harris played in the mid 2000s, and said one of these guys is going to be an NFL defensive coordinator, I don't think Al Harris would have been first, second, or third on my pick list. But from what I've been told, he's become a really good coach, and players really like him. But I would have never guessed that Al Harris would have gone into this.
Rob, there was conflicting reports again, and I don't want to get you. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Here we go.
Here we go. But there was conflicting reports, and Jason talked about it, that Jimmy Leonhard was offered the defensive coordinator job. And they talked about it. Matt LaFleur, obviously, if it seems as if from your perspective, is very interested to talk to Jimmy again. So that's not if indeed he was offered and turned it down, which is what Jason reported. There's no grudge holding. He would love to Matt LaFleur would love to at least sit down and have those discussions with Jimmy. Is that your understanding?
That is my understanding, and I don't know. It might be semantics whether he was offered it and turned it down, but clearly they wanted him. It might be one of those things where it's, hey, if we offer this job to you, would you take it? And then he, says probably not. So did he turn it down, or is that a preemptive way of not getting turned down? I think it's just semantics. But yeah, Jim Leonhard in 2021 went deep into this process. And at the time, I was told he didn't feel like the move was right. One of the reasons, from what I understood, was that his family really liked living in Madison. And guess what, Tausch, maybe you know this, his family still lives in Madison, and he's in Denver. So Green Bay would be a little closer. Got to check my atlas here. Yes, Green Bay is slightly closer
Rob,
to Madison.
You don't even have to check. You don't have to check your atlas. It is closer. I'll do the research.
This is not an atlas. This is a piece of scrap paper that I have a bunch of numbers written on it that I have no idea what they mean.
This is actually a used Kleenex that I looked at, so we're both in the same boat.
He's a prop comedian now, folks. Okay, so is it fair to assume then, Rob, based on what you're saying, that the longer this process takes, the more likely the potential of Jim Leonhard becoming the defensive coordinator?
I think that's a great observation, Jesse. I think that is 100% in play. There probably are still more people that LaFleur wants to talk to and interview. But, yeah, if they were going to hire – and maybe they will hire Jonathan Gannon. I don't know. If they were going to hire him, why not hire him by now?
They'd hire him.
Well, so what do we know about Gannon Ball? What do we know about Jonathan Gannon when he was in for an interview earlier this week?
Yeah, here was a guy who was highly thought of as a defensive coordinator in his past. And, whatever you think of, what he did as a head coach in Arizona, who has succeeded as a head coach in Arizona? It's been a while, probably 15.
Wisenhunt?
Bucko Bruce was pretty good there.
Bruce Arians, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at, Philadelphia's defense when Gannon was there as coordinator, was it 2 years? I'm trying to remember. 1 or 2 years he was there. He comes from a defensive background, and Jeff Hafley came from a defensive background. I think Matt LaFleur likes the idea of a defensive coordinator who sees it from the back end going forward. And I think that's, some of the candidates. Obviously, Al Harris, that's the viewpoint he would bring to a defense as a former cornerback. So It does appear that Matt LaFleur likes that. Joe Barry was a linebackers coach, if I'm not mistaken, and is a linebackers coach again. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a must to be a DB coach. But certainly if you're a DB coach, you see everything in front of you with the whole defense. So that could be attractive about Jonathan Gannon as well.
So, Rob, a lot of times when these searches go on, I'll speak for myself as a fan, we hear names like Jim Leonhard and Al Harris, and we get excited about those. And then you hear, former head coaches like Jonathan Gannon, and then it often ends up being a guy like Jeff Hafley that comes out of nowhere, and that's the guy that they hire. Who's the Jeff Hafley option that we know of at this point that is just some random name that feels like it's let's just throw this one in, and he might be the guy that gets named defensive coordinator in a week or two?
Who's the head coach at Western Michigan or Central Michigan or someplace, Matt LaFleur? I'm joking, but LaFleur did have a guy named Tim Lester on his staff who was the head coach at Western Michigan, and then he brought him in as a special assistant. If I knew who the mystery candidate was, Jesse, he wouldn't be a mystery, right? And I remember the day they hired Jeff Hafley. One of our college reporters, Pete Thamel, called me up and he said, "Hey, I think the Packers are going to hire Jeff Hafley as defensive coordinator." And as you guys know, I've talked about this before, I don't really watch much college football, and my first answer was, "Who?" But look, man, Jeff Hafley has a good track record. And then once I looked in, I'm like, oh yeah, Jeff Hafley worked for the 49ers, worked for the Browns, had been in the league before. Makes sense, right? But certainly it was a bit of a out-of-the-box hire at the time.
Yes, right, Rob. So
go ahead.
that coordinator, obviously, that position they got to shake that out. What other changes, if any? Mm-hmm. Because at some point, I know Matt LaFleur had a little bit of uncertainty there, and he had that first week where you couldn't really do much.
Yep.
If he is going to make a change at offensive line or offensive coordinator, what's the timeline look like for that?
Yeah.
Because guys are getting snapped up if you do make a move.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, Tausch, because I've been asking that question for the last couple days, and the answer that I've gotten from people over there at 1265 is that Matt LaFleur is still working through that. So I said, is there any timeline on when we might have an idea? And I got a one-word answer. It was no. So clearly, it's not settled, right? I mean, when someone says he's still working through that, that means that either he hasn't made up his mind or he hasn't figured out how he's going to reorganize or approach things. But I think it would be naive to sit here and think that just because we're almost 2 full weeks out from the end of the season, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 full weeks out from the end of the season tomorrow, that he's settled and he's not doing anything. That would be inaccurate thinking. I would have to think that if we don't hear something by the end of the day today, it would have to be early next week, because you're right, Tausch. You got to get going, especially with him liking to interview a lot of guys. Then it just makes the process take longer. I do think there are changes coming. It's just my educated guess. I'm not reporting anything, but I do think there could be changes on both sides. Well, there are obviously going to be changes on both sides of the ball, but there could be changes on all 3 phases. We can't rule anything out yet.
So your educated guess, what would your educated guesses be? Because I think the thought was, since Jeff Hafley got that Miami job, there could be 3 new coordinators. Yeah. Jason pushed back pretty vehemently with me because he said the overarching theme, and when he talks to people over in the building, Rich Bisaccia isn't going anywhere, even though fans, and if I'm being honest myself, look at it and say, and I'm not going to get in the argument about how much he's getting paid with you, because we've had this discussion, and I don't want you swearing today.
Oh, God.
But we're not going to do that. But Bisaccia's numbers and the special teams hadn't gotten any better. But it sounds as if Jason thinks his culture and everything he brings, LaFleur ain't letting him go anytime soon.
I think Jason's, it kind of pains me to say this, but I think Jason's probably right about that. I think that's an accurate read on the situation over there, and players really, really love him. The other coaches on the staff really like him and appreciate him. He brings a morale to the meetings. that's high energy and highly intelligent. But I also am with you, Tausch, man. The special teams haven't gotten a whole lot better. Maybe slightly better, but they're still not to the point where they're a help more than a hindrance. I will say in Bisaccia's defense, and we did an exercise that we've done before at ESPN.com where we redrafted this past year's draft, just did the first 2 rounds. And as I rolled it, I don't know when it's running on ESPN.com, but I assume fairly soon. I can tell you that I did not pick either of the 2 players that the Packers picked in the first round this year. And one of those picks I made had major special teams considerations. And no, I didn't pick a kicker or punter or long snapper in the first round. But as I looked at it, my point in telling this long, drawn-out, boring story is that they haven't done a lot to help Rich Bisaccia in terms of acquiring guys who are special teams players, in terms of the returners, about using starters on special teams. I mean, it used to be, maybe this isn't feasible anymore with the higher injury rates, but it used to be that, as the season went on and you got to the end of the year and in playoffs, that the Packers used to use more starters on special teams, and they just haven't seemed to approach that. So that's on the coaching staff, but it's also on the personnel department, probably because for not addressing special teams. I do think that people will like my second round pick in terms of a special teams / return person who could have been an exciting player for the Packers if they had gone this route in the draft.
Oh, boy, we're going to have to check that out over at ESPN.com. I have a question about the offensive coordinator, Adam Stenavich, and really, if he were to either move on or be moved on from, what does the offensive coordinator do with Matt LaFleur calling plays? Like, what does Adam Stenavich do, and what would, if there was another offensive coordinator, what would that person do?
It's the age-old question, right? If you're not a play caller, what are you doing? But here's where I think, from what I understand about non-play calling coordinators, is that a large part of their responsibility is preparing game plans in terms of not necessarily saying we're going to call this play, but these are the plays that we have that will work against this opponent coming up. And the offensive coordinator will put together a plan of what he thinks are the best plays and the best concepts that they would do this week as they're preparing Monday and Tuesday for the practice week, and presents that plan to the head coach, the play caller. And then it's up to Matt to sort of, and Jordan Love to sort of sort through it and say, yeah, this is what we like, this is what we don't like. But just because you're not a play caller doesn't mean you're not heavily involved in preparing the offense for the week. And then on game day, his job is to sit upstairs and, look at what's happening in games and help Matt LaFleur make adjustments based on what he sees from coverages and, schemes from up top. So, I mean, it is a heavily involved job. And the other thing, too, that the offensive coordinator does oftentimes is stand in front of the offense in the offensive meetings. The head coach has a lot of responsibilities that take him away from that. So messaging is a big part of that. Teaching is also a big part of that. Obviously, Steno's background is on the offensive line, and you definitely see him spending a lot of time in training camp and in practice around the offensive line group, overseeing those types of things and stepping in and coaching hands-on there. So it is definitely, it's not a figurehead job for sure. It's an important job.
So is he good at it? Like, do we feel good about where they're at with what he's been doing in that role for the last several years? Or
yeah, I mean,
is that an upgrade spot?
How do you judge a position? I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, and I'm not sure how I can tell if a position coach or someone like that is really good. Like, if their players play good, does that mean they're a good position coach? Or, I don't know. I mean, I think we can all agree that, guys, a guy like James Campen, was Tausch's coach for a long time. I mean, you don't stick around the NFL as long as he has not being a good coach. You don't take, 7th round picks, 4th round pick, David Bakhtiari, right? 4th round pick. What were guys like, Scott Wells, Corey Lindsley, on and on. Brian Balaga was a first, but, more often than not, guys like that were developing mid to late round picks and turning them into not only starters, but, Pro Bowl type players or high level starters. So I think you can tell there, like, because I'm just going to use this as an example, because Matthew Golden didn't have the, maybe the rookie year that people thought, does that mean Ryan Mahaffey's not a good receivers coach? I don't know. But not to pick on him, it's just the first name that popped into my mind. Maybe he is, and maybe maybe Steno and the play caller didn't do a good job getting Matthew Golden involved. It's hard to know, is my point, Jesse, in terms of, a position coach, unless you're in the room and in the building. And you can talk to players about a coach and say, oh yeah, really, really like him. Really, really thought he was a good coach. I mean, who knows? Like, who was it? Sam Gash, the running backs coach, essentially got fired because Eddie Lacy was out of shape. Like, is that Sam Gash's fault? Like, I don't know.
Tausch, how would you answer that? Like, what matters for a coach like that?
Coaches, what is it? Teach and demand, and you're judged, whether it's right or wrong, on how your unit performs. So all of the things Rob talking about, Sam Gash, Eddie Lacy was awesome for a stretch. When it goes the other way, you look at it and you say, why is this the case? And the easiest thing to do is to replace the coach and get a different voice in that room. And I think what I was going to ask Rob was the O-line coach, Butkus. The O-line had a tough year. I am always going to sit here and try to tell, they did this. The group didn't cohesively come together. There's a lot of reasons, injuries, a lot of shuffling. Right. You think he's back, or do you think that to me is one of the positions that I think Matt LaFleur probably is really looking at, however you phrased that earlier, is really looking at. Do you think he's back?
Yeah. Working through it, I think was the phrase. But, I'll be honest with you, Tausch. I thought they were going to make changes last offseason on both the O-line and the D-line, and they did with the D-line, made a change there, brought in DeMarcus Covington, and I was, somewhat surprised that they didn't. Now, is it Luke Butkus' fault or was it Luke Butkus' decision to move Elton Jenkins to center and to sign Aaron Banks at left guard? No, I'm sure it was not.
Nope.
But it's his job to teach the techniques. And, I don't know, watching offensive, I could stand there till I'm 90 years old and watch offensive line practice and not know if they're teaching the right techniques or not, or if the drills that they're doing to try to teach their techniques are the right drills. And there's also a bunch of other things, when it goes into do O-line coaches just teach the same drill every day in practice, or do they focus in on, all right, this is the technique and these are the blocks that we're going to be using this week in practice, so we're going to hone in on those. Like, there's different philosophies. Some O-line coaches they work the same drills day in, day out, whether, depending, it doesn't matter what the game plan is that week. Other O-line coaches will take specific things that they know they're going to do in this game and only zero in on those. Not saying one philosophy is right or wrong. It's just a different philosophy. But I couldn't tell you by watching it what they're doing, right? Like, I just don't know enough about offensive line play to know. So I don't honestly think it's fair for me to sit here and, grade Luke Butkus or anything like that. But you're right, Tausch. Did the unit perform up to standards or up to expectations? No.
Yeah, and that's how they're judged, and whether that's fair or not. And the easy thing is to do something different to try to get a different result. But even though that's going to be another unit that there's going to be draft resources, I don't know what they're going to be able to do free agency-wise, but Goody didn't think that the group was good enough in Philly 2 postseasons ago. And I'm certain as he's
100%.
looking at it now, he's like, "Ooh, we got a long way to go on this." Last one for me, Rob. Do you have something? Go ahead.
No, I was just sorry, Tausch. I was just going to say, I think the one thing that they need to try to do on the offensive line, again, just my opinion, is just keep guys at spots, man. Like, I know you got to cross-train backups, but they have mismanaged.
Jordan
might be
Morgan,
a strong word, but I feel like they've mismanaged Jordan Morgan. I really do.
Oh, agree. Yep.
So
no, you have to. It's one thing to cross-train during the season, and you have to get guys ready to play because you're dressing 6-7 guys. You have to let a guy grow into a spot. It's not as easy, especially when you're changing guard to tackle and then left to right. Like, it is a monster, especially for a young player that you have to build confidence.
Yep.
I couldn't agree with you more. Hopefully Jordan gets settled in at left tackle if they end up letting Sheed go, which we all think is going to be the case.
Yeah,
all right,
I
Rob,
think
last
so.
one.
Yeah.
best moment of the year for this Green Bay Packers team is?
I kind of feel like the 2 wins over Detroit were huge, just because of the previous year getting swept by those guys. I'm sure there's an individual play or moment that I'm not thinking of, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it just felt like those Detroit games were massively important, and they won them. And I think this coming season, that's going to be replaced by the 2 games against Chicago. I just think those are such important games and such important moments. And Jordan Love was it the Thanksgiving game against Detroit was really, really good in that game. And that was the Dontavion Wicks game. Sort of came out of nowhere. Those games stick in my mind as 2. If you were talking about high points of the season, I thought both Detroit games fit that.
ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Demovsky. Last one for you, Rob. Tausch says the negative 17 degrees or whatever the temperature is outside wherever we live around the state today, that's better than when it was 50 degrees and muddy in early January. Agree or disagree with Old T's weather assessment?
You know what? Hold on here. This is a visual.
Visual exercise.
If,
All right.
if these things, my golf clubs are sitting here in my office, it doesn't matter if it's minus 17 or muddy. I can't play golf, so it's all crap.
There he is. And he kept it clean. Well done. Rob Demovsky, ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter. Thanks so much, Rob. We appreciate this, and thanks for not letting Hunter use the dumb button today.
All right. But yeah, you don't want to make Hunter work too hard. I'm sure he's having to manage you 2 guys. It's probably a lot of work in and of itself. So you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it. Rob Demovsky joining us from ESPN.com, where he covers the Green Bay Packers. A lot of interesting things we just talked about on the coordinator front with Rob. We'll talk about that.
I'll tell you what, for everybody that's wanting Jimmy Leonhard, Rob didn't do anything to dispel anything there.
Very interesting. Very interesting what he just shared with us. We'll talk about it more next. It's Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Mark Tauscher here for the Blue Mountains of cold, refreshing Coors Light. Well, whether you're tailgating pregame, cracking one open during the game, celebrating a big win after the game, or you just need a moment to chill, crack open a Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it's actually made to chill. The mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans turn blue when chilled to perfection, which, besides the refreshing taste, is my favorite thing about drinking Coors Light. Refreshingly cold and only 102 calories, Coors Light is made to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Luke Fickell on Wilde and Tausch detailing Wisconsin's off-season tackling of the portal. Fickell on why he and his staff acted swiftly, resulting in a massive 32 transfer pickup.
You had to be strategically placed in a way that, hey, when this thing opens, if we're not in a position to have a chance to sign guys immediately, you have a small window. We were aggressive, and we had to grow beyond, our comfort zones.
Fickell's full interview available on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. With exclusive features and customized for every home, Pella provides the highest quality products at a price you can afford. Go to PellaWI.com. PellaWI.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner, and catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Happy New Year and happy new engagement. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. You have heard me talk about corporate, fundraising, and even casino events, but we are also amazing wedding DJs. Never cheesy and always the perfect fit for the perfect couple. Please let us help you narrate your wedding day love story while playing an amazing soundtrack that will rock your dance floor. Create lifelong memories of your one special day. Do it right and do it with celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
What was that?
It was just me or, I got such a bargain. Poorly constructed sofa falling apart.
I just bought you.
Yeah, well, I did just turn 3, I mean, at 67 in sofa years. I am so ready to retire and move to Miami.
I knew I should have listened to my mother and bought that other sofa from Steinhafels. It was so strong and comfy.
Tired of furniture that doesn't hold up to its end of the bargain? Steinhafels has quality furniture for every style and budget. Relax. It's Steinhafels.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
College basketball Saturday. It's an ACC Top 25 showdown. The 22nd ranked North Carolina Tar Heels head to Charlottesville to face the 14th ranked Virginia Cavaliers. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Thanks again to ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Demovsky for joining the show. If you missed any of that conversation, it'll be available momentarily on the ESPN Wisconsin app and the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason will be back on Monday. I don't think anything happens until Matt LaFleur can talk to Jim Leonhard. It's probably the most significant nugget that we heard from Rob Demovsky during his appearance. Talked about all the coordinator positions. It was really insightful. Tausch, what'd you think when you heard that from Rob?
I thought it was telling because you're seeing him. He had Allen. I think he had Gannon in. And Rob is right in the regards that he's very thorough. He is going to go through a long list of different candidates, but I think there's always, you have somebody in the back of your mind. And if you can get that person, you're going to wait to see. So in Jimmy Leonhard's case, there's obviously the fact that their team is in the playoffs. They don't know when he's going to be available to do it. And I do think Vance is their D coordinator right now.
Vance Joseph, yeah.
I think Vance Joseph, as long as and I don't think Arizona's job is filled. That's where he's been. If Arizona's job continues to not get filled, the worry I have is he takes the Arizona job and then Jimmy is going to stay in Denver with Sean Payton. He's the assistant head coach there. I don't think there's many other spots that would be the case because I think Jimmy wants to get back to Wisconsin at some point. But I think there's also Sean Payton brought him in. So if that doesn't occur, I think both parties would love to see this happen. And Rob's reporting or whatever if he doesn't want to use the word reporting.
Hunch.
His instincts, his hunch. I think that for everybody that believes and hopes that Jimmy Leonhard will run this defense, I think you could feel very optimistic that he's going to get that opportunity if that's how it shakes out.
Let me ask you this. If you're Jim Leonhard and Vance Joseph does get the Cardinals job or any other head coaching job, if you just look at it and forget the history of who hired you and what role and all that stuff, just look at the jobs, the Packers defensive coordinator and the Broncos defensive coordinator, what's a better job?
I mean, you can't take that out of the equation, though. I don't think that's not a
well, why not?
fair deal.
If you're looking at Micah Parsons and Xavier McKinney, and
if I may,
sorry,
if someone gives you an opportunity and puts you as the assistant head coach and is putting you basically in line to continue to grow and is going to pay you and do all of the things with a group that you've worked with, I think it's very difficult to say no. Now, the fact that it is the state of Wisconsin and your family is back here and that's where you want to be, that changes the math. But I don't think you can, these things can't be siloed off. If someone puts you in that position and they're kind of tailoring you to be that guy at the next spot, I don't think you're going to leave. But that doesn't mean these family circumstances won't come into play. If you're asking me strictly on defense, Denver's defense is really good. Green Bay's defense is very good, but I'm telling you right now, Jeff Hafley was a unicorn in the fact people didn't criticize him like they do others. You come in and your defense isn't very good, you're going to get hashtagged, and it is a thankless job unless you're doing big things. So the defense has a ton of talent, I believe, here too, but I think Denver's defense is very good as well. So I think it would be a very tough decision for Jimmy and his family.
We'll see how it continues to play out over the next few days, and who knows, maybe the next couple of weeks as well. I don't know if you can go to Hard Rock Casino Rockford and place a wager on who the Packers' next defensive coordinator will be, but I do know you can go there. You can go to the UU Noodle Bar. You can enjoy the sports book and all the great tables and everything they have at Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
And indeed, they have all the things Jesse just mentioned. We had the great time at the sports book. They have the entertainment. Hopefully, at some point, maybe even getting Dolly Parton down there. We don't know that for sure, but Bradshaw's been there. They have everything you're looking for, and they elevate the high-limit room experience that delivers premium table games tailored for discerning players, enhanced game rules, including blackjack where the dealer will stand on a soft 17, which gives you that much better odds. Faster play and the kind of authentic high-limit action that sets the Hard Rock Casino Rockford apart. Again, it's 60 minutes from the greater Madison, even with Jesse driving. 60 minutes door to door, right off of I-90, that big old beautiful guitar in Rockford, Illinois.
I'm blaming you for getting pulled over going 78 outside of La Crosse. I always drive so slow. Old man driving down the highway with Jesse. And then I go 78 and a 70 and get pulled over a couple of weeks ago. That's your fault.
Oh, go booing. Go booing the UU Noodle Bar.
You asked Rob Demovsky what he thought the moment of the year was for the Green Bay Packers. We will share our answers, and then we're looking for some fan interaction here on a Friday. We may even take some phone calls coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. Getting wild with Jason on assignment today. 10 o'clock hour, Wilde and Tausch starts in 2 minutes.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hey Madison, it's Rich Eisen. Join me for the Rich Eisen Show, weekdays noon to 2, right here on 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. What the heck is going on with Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks? ESPN's NBA insider Brian Windhorst was on First Take yesterday, and he thinks that a trade is becoming more and more likely.
More likely by the hour, honestly, more likely by the hour. And I think really what this kind of is, nobody wants to be the bad guy, but everybody wants the best term.
As the trade deadline inches closer and closer, stay up to date on all things Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis related by heading over to ESPN.com. Speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks, they're at home tonight hosting the Denver Nuggets. The Bucks are currently 6.5-point favorites in the 8:30 tip-off. Coverage will start at 8 p.m. You can hear that game right here on Madison's home for Milwaukee Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. On to college hoops. The Wisconsin Badgers got a win over Penn State, 98-71 last night.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. No Jason Wilde today. He is on assignment. He's okay. I don't know if anyone was concerned about the cold being a problem for him. He's fine. He's just a scheduled day off today. He'll be back on Monday. Jesse and Tausch today. Hunter Vaughn, our cousin sub of the day, producing the show in the Everlight Solar Studio here at ESPN Madison. Special thanks to Rob Demovsky for joining us in the 9 o'clock hour. A lot of interesting insights on all three, quite frankly, of the Packers coordinator openings or current positions held. Make sure you check it all out over on the ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels, and on the ESPN Wisconsin app. We posed a question this morning on the Wilde and Tausch Facebook page. I knew I was going to be hosting the show today, and Tausch, you know I love Facebook. That's my preferred social media platform. It's the OG of social media. Well, I guess MySpace is the OG of social media, and then there's Facebook. Facebook's the one that really took social media up to the next level. And the question that we asked, what was the best moment of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season? And quite frankly, I'm disappointed by the amount of responses that have come in so far. And I think that's because fans are still a little dejected by how the season ended, that we don't want to look back and remember some of the positive moments of what happened in 2025. We're more focused on the negatives, and especially how it ended, blowing a 21-3 halftime lead against the Chicago Bears. There are some responses rolling in. You heard Rob's answer. What is your answer? What do you think was the best moment for the 2025 Green Bay Packers? Tausch?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah,
I'm
asking
fans.
No, I'm asking you.
Maybe you can say, hey, Tausch. You know how
he said Tausch twice in that setup. Tausch, you weren't listening. He said your name twice in that setup.
No, I was Hunter. I was listening, and I was not going to jump in and interject. So no, don't. That's BS. There's times I'm not listening. That ain't one of them.
Hand up. So I didn't do a good job setting you up.
No,
that's my fault.
That was blank poor by you, Jesse. I'm not going to sit here and call Hunter. Don't be co-signing on BS that Jesse just did. So. All right.
Let me try again. Hey, Tausch, what do you think?
Thank you, Jesse.
What do you think was the best moment of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season?
So I just tweeted this, and I think there's two, and I think they're both not. What are you chuckling about? You know that was on you, not on
because
me.
You just said you just tweeted this, which would lend credibility to the fact that maybe you were focused on doing something else.
I tweeted it in the commercial break.
I didn't say it.
Jesse, the fact that you can't take accountability for that irritates me about as much as this companion certificate, FYI. Because I don't mind getting called out when I'm in the wrong. I wasn't in the wrong.
I didn't call you out. I said my fault.
BS
I didn't
on both
set you
of it.
up well enough.
All right, I'm done. Just admit when you're wrong. This isn't that hard. The two things that's off the field, it's the Micah Parsons trade, and it's the drafting of Matthew Golden by Mark Murphy. And that makes me sad to say that that's what that was, but I thought, well, Micah chasing down Goff in that the crowd went crazy. It was a big deal. And then you start looking, well, Keyshawn intercepting the ball against the Bears. but it didn't, in the grand scheme of things, mean much. They didn't win the division. The Bears ended up gutting us twice. And then the beating the Lions up in Detroit, which was great, but it didn't really lead to anything. So all of that said, I think the reason there's not a ton of engagement and people are is because there's not. And I'd argue we've now had 2 seasons. When you're trying to win a championship, you have moments. B.J. Raji intercepted a pass. Tremont Williams intercepted a big play down in Atlanta to make the play. We don't have those. And I keep coming back to something that I thought was incredibly interesting. The Seattle Seahawks have 8 touchdowns non-offensive. You need to make those kind of plays to have special seasons. It can't just be what is expected. Tucker Kraft with a couple touchdowns. Christian Watson with some big plays. You need to have those special moments to have a special season. And the last 2 seasons, that's thousands of plays. I'm trying to think, what are the big boy plays? And I'm having a hard time. I got TJ Lang texting or tweeting after I put down Chase Agave because that really is the best? And I'm looking at it like, I don't know what else to put on there.
I think when you get a walk-off win against the Bears, the Keyshawn Nixon interception in a vacuum is an awesome moment for the fans who were at the game, for those of us who were watching on television. Like, that's a cool moment when it comes down to the final play, more or less, of the game, and in the end zone with the Bears having a chance to take the lead and likely win the game. You get an interception of Caleb Williams. That was awesome. Now, it is superseded, now that we reflect on the season, by how the losses went at Soldier Field both times, which is crazy how all 3 of those games played out this year. But that, to me, would be the single moment, because that was also part of a winning streak. You felt really good about where the Packers were then going to Denver the following week, 2 teams that were going to be, at the time, in contention for the number 1 seeds in their conference. And then, of course, the debacle in Denver and how that led to the downfall of the rest of the season. The Bears game and the win, the Keyshawn Nixon interception in the end zone, to me, is a clear answer for the best moment of the 2025 Packers season.
I think that you can definitely make that case, but the bottom line is we had an average season. We didn't have a ton of big plays. We didn't have a ton of big boy moments that pushed us into potential of winning a championship. We were really now for 2 seasons have been pretty average. We've done what we were supposed to do. This year we were able to get over the hump, but then I'm looking at it like, were we really over the hump? The Detroit Lions weren't even a playoff team, and those are our 2 signature wins. So I don't know. That is going to be the big test in this next era of Matt LaFleur football, is finding ways to make these big plays, and it has to come from the special teams and defense too. You can't just lean on one set of a unit to make all of the plays. You need to make game-changing plays in the other 2 phases, and when one of your phases you're just hoping to not screw up, you're taking 33% of your chances to make these game-changing plays out of it. Seattle is not in this position that they're in this weekend, which is a 1 seed, hosting for an opportunity to go. If they don't pick up Rashid, what is his name, Rashid, or whatever his name is, the punt returner?
So yeah, I'll figure it. I'm drawing a blank right now. I saw him do the kick return.
Shahid.
Rashid Shahid, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a tough name.
It's something of
tough
that
name.
ilk. Yeah, but 2 touchdowns he's made, and that was a trade deadline pickup. Those are the things that make a difference in these, in having an average playoff season and having the next level. So obviously Green Bay has a lot of work to do, and bringing in guys that have potential to make plays on both sides of the other sides of the football other than the offense, that has to be at the top of the list as far as how you get from this point to the next point, which is hopefully being in contention and playing late into January rather than who are we firing? Are we bringing this guy back? Are we doing that? Getting that narrative flipped is going to be a lot more difficult.
Rashid Shahid. That is a tricky name. 844-770-3776. We are opening it up to you. What was the best moment of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season? I'm seeing responses already coming in.
And also put up what was the worst moment. You can pick either, because I don't know how many people look at. Well, the worst moment, there's obviously this Bears playoff.
I mean, are we excluding the Bears loss in the that's obviously the worst. You blew a 21-3 lead on the road in the playoffs against the Bears.
I don't know if obviously that is a gut punch, and yes, that's where most people are going to say. But I would argue that Cleveland Browns game is just as bad. Obviously, the stakes weren't as high, but that game set a tone and kind of got the ball going on the wrong way, winning close games and losing. That was a brutal loss at a time when you could have really been steamrolling people.
So we're looking for both the best or the worst moments of the Green Bay Packers season, whatever you'd like to chime in with. You know where to find us, 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Less is more. You can also get in on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed, Facebook page, and in the YouTube comments for the show as well. We will get to your responses, best and worst moments of the Packers season. Coming up next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. But you may have had your financial plans set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
It's a top 10 matchup on Tuesday Night Hoops. The number 2 ranked team in the greater Madison area, the Edgewood Crusaders, square off with the 9th ranked Mount Horeb Vikings. Myself and the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau, have the call. Tip-off is 7:15 with pregame coverage beginning at 6:45, Tuesday the 27th, on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
At Associated Bank, we thought about speaking like other banks with hoity-toity names like Total Privilege Pay or something. But we don't speak bankish, we speak your language. When we say 2-day early pay, we mean you get paid 2 days early. $50 overdraft grace zone? That's a grace zone of up to $50 if overdrafts happen. And maintenance fee free account? Well, that speaks for itself. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/you-got-this. Member FDIC.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution, and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Imagine the peace of mind knowing your home or business is safe 24/7. I'm Jeffrey Beckman, president of J&K Security Solutions, and we provide security you can trust. Serving Madison and southern Wisconsin, J&K Security Solutions offers state-of-the-art home and business security systems tailored to your needs. From video surveillance to home and business automation, to find out how J&K Security can help secure what matters most in your life, visit jksecurity.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. If you're still working on your New Year's resolutions, right now, congrats! You've officially made it past Quitter's Day. More than 70% of people give up by now, so take your win. Iron Jock wants to reward you. From now through January 27th, our listeners can get 30% off any Iron Jock purchase over $75 when you use promo code ESPN30. And you also score a free 3-pack of Iron Jock socks at $25 value. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Denver Nuggets.
Coors with a head fake, steps to his left, and he knocks down the three.
Tonight on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
A lot of responses coming in to the best and worst moments of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season. Man, I wish we were playing here this weekend on Conference Championship weekend. I really thought the Packers were going to make it this far, especially in early December when they were in the midst of that winning streak, contending for the 1 seed.
We would have had 50 to 60% of the Rams field filled with cheeseheads. Last week would have been tough going out to Seattle, but I don't think anyone, who knows if we would have seen the same barrage that they put on the Niners. And I would have picked Seattle to beat us last week, but I would have loved, just like an American president, I would have loved to have that matchup. But that's neither here nor there. We didn't get the job done. We didn't close up shop against our arch rivals, and we have to sit on that and stew for a full, 8 months.
844-770-3776. Going to try to get to responses in all of our platforms here. So starting with the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line, the text portion of the Talk and Text line, at the Adam in Madison. The best moment was how we looked weeks 1 and 2 when everyone was healthy. Unfortunately, it was downhill from there.
I can't argue a ton with Adam on that. I'm telling you, we walked out of that building that opening night against Detroit, and I walked over to our Tundra Trio houses and did the postgame, and it was euphoric. The Detroit Lions knew we had closed the gap. Packer fans were, oh, my God, we have a squad. This is a squad. Micah had the day he had, and it just felt like things had changed because we couldn't beat those Cats last year. And they started to, question, can we, as a Green Bay Packers organization, take down this version of Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions? And we could, and we did it twice. And we dominated both of those openers against playoff teams from last year. And what was the narrative coming into this season? Can beat the bad and average teams, can't beat the playoff teams. So the vibes were never higher. I thought we regained a little bit of that. And then obviously the injuries in Denver with Micah. We were not resilient or talented enough to overcome those, and that's what led to the early departure this season.
I've seen this one come in a few different spots. I'll credit Gary on the Wilde and Tausch Facebook page for commenting with this one. The day of the trade for Micah Parsons. It was Thursday, August 28th, hours before Billy Edwards and the Wisconsin Badgers kicked off the 2025 college football season at Camp Randall Stadium. The trade for Micah Parsons comes down in the mid-afternoon and euphoric around downtown Madison where we were getting set for that college football game that night. Quite frankly, that has a good candidacy to be in the running for the best moment of the Packers season in my mind.
Well, and then obviously hosting the draft and having Mark Murphy give his big thing and seeing 250,000 people in Titletown, like those, it's awesome that we had those moments, but that's never what you want to be your shining moment. Is off the field stuff, because that means your on the field stuff wasn't good enough. But I do think we all will remember when we couldn't believe it, even though there was a lot of breadcrumbs leading up that it was going to happen. You just couldn't believe the Dallas Cowboys would be crazy enough to do it. And Micah, until he got hurt, was everything we hoped he'd be in Green Bay. So the future's bright, no doubt. Get Micah back healthy, and hopefully early part of next season, you get Tucker Kraft healthy, and I am convinced that one of the reasons Matt LaFleur has kept his job, had this same thing happened with both of those two stars playing, and we ended up kind of fading like we did, I'm not so certain Matt LaFleur would still be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. But he's getting another opportunity. He's going to have his guys back, and there will be no excuses. None. As far as we got the roster, you have the guys, it's go time. And I think Matt LaFleur and his staff know that.
Getting a lot of people saying, especially in the YouTube comments, please don't review the worst moments of the season. We don't need to relive it. It does kind of go against our Feel Good Friday mantra around here on Wilde and Tausch to say, hey, let's spend the rest of the show talking about the worst moments of the 2025 season. But there were a bunch of them, especially, unfortunately, down the stretch in December and into the playoffs. Keep the responses coming, 844-770-3776. Let's go to the phones. Levi in Stevens Point, one of the great fans of this show, and of course he attended my wedding a number of years ago in Jason's place. Levi, welcome in to Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch. What was the best moment this season?
Hey guys, you can hear me, correct?
Oh, we got you, loud and clear.
That is correct, yes.
All right. I've just been battling a bad fever this week, so at least I called in today. So I've been doing much better today. I just want to.
Oh, good. Yeah, you kind of sound like Tausch did yesterday, Levi. A little under the weather, so hopefully you're going to be okay here.
Levi and I are competitors. Yeah. We don't let a little cold and a little fever bring us down.
Yeah. Hey, Hunter, could you play that Tausch sound effect? Like I feel fantastic with that one's so awesome.
I feel fantastic.
There you go.
Just for Levi.
I love that Levi's producing the show now from Stevens Point.
On a sick day, nonetheless. Impressive.
Thanks. All right. I want to try to keep clock management here. The one best moment and worst moment. The best one was Micah Parsons getting at Jared Goff in week one. That big sack, that was the best moment in my opinion. That when he caught up with Jared Goff, I was like, oh, yeah, watching TV at home. That was awesome. But my worst moment was I know ties are always going to be in football. I still hate that, especially that tie in Dallas. That was like the worst moment in my opinion. But everyone's entitled to their opinion about that.
Yeah.
If I thought Matt LaFleur would have went for the win on that, but he decided to have Brandon McManus kick that field goal to end the game in that tie in overtime, which I thought was ridiculous, but it is what it is.
That's an interesting point, Levi. Thanks for the call.
That tie is what got the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs.
It got them in the playoffs.
Exactly.
But you talked about the Cleveland loss being up. I don't agree that the Cleveland loss is in the same conversation as the Bears playoff loss, but it's setting the tone for the season. The Cleveland loss, okay, you get humbled after those 10 days off after that Commanders Thursday night game and losing Cleveland after you got Rasheed Walker talking about running the table undefeated for the whole season. You go to Dallas, primetime Micah Parsons revenge game, and they play for the tie at the end. Did that set a tone then for what the next couple of weeks ended up being? And did that have any impact on the trajectory of the season?
No, I think obviously the defense stunk that night. Dak and everybody was on point. The clock management and how they handled it was brutal. I can agree with you on that. But no, it wasn't as if – I don't know exactly how that all shook out. But no, getting that tie – you'd much rather, if you lose that game, you probably don't make the playoffs. Now, is that good or bad if you're going to get knocked out in the first round? I always want in. Always get me in the tournament. They found a way to get in because they tied. I didn't think that was as bad of a moment as maybe Levi did.
Chris in the YouTube comments, he's not specifically saying this was the best moment, but there's a discourse here about set first half and second half performances. Chris says they were awful in the second half, good in the first half, every game except for the Pittsburgh game against Aaron Rodgers when we were terrible in the first half and dynamite in the second half. That's an overlooked performance, I think, that the Packers came back and beat Aaron Rodgers that night.
Yeah, it was a big boy win, and I thought important for Jordan because it you could say all the right things, but it matters more. It's a narrative shaper. That Jordan was able to do what he did in the 20 straight completions and all the things that he was able to do that night. again, it's just the grand scheme and the overarching thing. You want to beat Aaron Rodgers, no doubt. But those moments are nice. They're not like, it's just not big. It's a nice moment in a season. And you have a nice moment, you're a playoff team. That's not good enough here. And unfortunately, and I think it's interesting you bring that point up. I can't remember who.
Chris on the YouTube comments, yeah.
Chris, how many games have we really played that have been 4 quarters? I would venture to say that if I'm Matt LaFleur, I'm putting up signs, finish. You can't continue to play 2.5 quarters of football and be as Jekyll and Hyde-ish as this group has been really over 2 seasons. I said all last season, what is the one complete ball game that we've played? I was having a hard time finding it last year, and now that I'm looking at it, early in the season I thought we were good. There was moments that, the first 2 games you felt like pretty thorough whooping.
Yeah, the first Detroit game, the Lions made a little run in the fourth quarter. We forget about that. That was one of our negatives from that first game.
Sure. But defensively, I thought that we didn't play a great second half of football.
No.
My point is, in unison as a team, one of the big questions and points that I've made is this group doesn't have that killer instinct, and you don't step on throats. When you don't do that, you leave yourself vulnerable to a bad call, to maybe a penalty that beats you, a blocked kick. When you don't put teams away, unless you're kind of riding that wave like I think the Bears did this year, you find ways to lose games that gives you a worse seeding. And as I said all year, I'm going to be pulling for both 1 seeds so that my theory is finally proven correct, that this is indeed the most important 1 seeds in the history of the NFL, because it is really difficult. I am very fascinated to watch the Rams. 7 out of their last 9 games have been on the road. Do they have enough gas left in the tank after 2 hard-fought playoff games to go fly and go do another one in a tough environment? If they do, tip the cap. I'm guessing that they're not going to have enough gas in the tank, because having to go through that gauntlet, you only have so much emotional capital as a football team. Do you have enough reserves to get by a team that's full of emotional capital? They didn't have to spend much in the San Fran game. That is the big question mark to me about this championship weekend.
Plenty more responses still coming in everywhere you can get into the show, including the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line at 844-770-3776. The best, and if you want to go down that road, the worst moments of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season. Want to talk a little bit about that Thanksgiving game and a few other responses that I'm seeing coming in. We'll get to those coming up next. But first, Tausch, tell us about that old rascal Bucky and UW Credit Union.
Well, for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They help you reach your financial goals. And I'll tell you what, I've been going to a lot of Badger Hoops games. I'm going to be going Sunday. I love when they bring out that T-shirt gun. UW Credit Union is there. They're out in the community doing all kinds of great stuff. And they have great service. They got great perks. You don't have to worry about all these expiration dates on their perks. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you can't pay with anything else. Fandom will make you do crazy things, but boy, this makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
More of your responses, the best and worst moments of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season, coming up next. Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. Now, I've been telling you for a while now how much I love Pizza Hut, participating in their legendary Book It program when I was a kid. I loved it then, and I love making new memories, enjoying it with my family today. But for a limited time, Pizza Hut's Big New Yorker pizza is just $10. An extra large pizza with 6 huge foldable slices and bold New York-style flavor. Big size, big value, and just $10. Order right now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut. Feed good times. And for a limited time, order a big New Yorker pizza for just $10. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every U. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Braden Hermsdorf from Oregon High School. You're a Panther.
Sure am.
What does it mean to be a Panther?
Means everything. Means representing your school, always being a leader. That's what we focus here. Pride. Focus on Panther pride and wearing it loud and proud like I am right now.
Now, you've had some issues. Knee surgeries, two.
Three. Oh, three.
Actually, three, but it was 2 years that you missed, though, right?
Yep.
You look at your time at Oregon, what do you think you're going to remember the most?
How fast it went, and I'm always going to remember perspectives. I watched on the sidelines for 2 full years, and I feel like I learned some great lessons, cherishing moments. Like, you got to always cherish it when you're in high school, and that's, I feel like, what I learned from sitting on the sidelines. Things are so much better when you're playing sports as an athlete.
At Gruber Law Offices, our biggest priority is the care and service we provide to our clients. We know accidents can be overwhelming, and we're here to help every step of the way. Call now. One call, that's all.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Ford and Metro Kia of Madison. Find the Metro family of auto dealers online or see them in person on the east side of Madison today.
What was that?
It was just me, or I got such a bargain. Poorly constructed sofa falling apart.
I just bought you.
Yeah, well, I did just turn 3, you know. I mean, at 67 in sofa years, I am so ready to retire and move to Miami.
I knew I should have listened to my mother and bought that other sofa from Steinhafels. It was so strong and comfy.
Tired of furniture that doesn't hold up to its end of the bargain? Steinhafels has quality furniture for every style and budget. Relax. It's Steinhafels.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Join before January 31st to get the lowest rates of 2026. Make sure you join the Princeton Club for a better tomorrow.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Keep it right here after Wilde and Tausch, and join us for the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Everyone's favorite royalty-free music bringing us back in. Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Riley Yauk is our producer for the Barry Alvarez show all season long on ESPN Madison. He played this one in the season finale on Monday night or Tuesday night, and Barry Alvarez was dancing along to this one, Tausch. So
that's a good tune.
You say, yeah, this is a good one. Still taking your reactions and your responses, best and worst moments of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season. And I'm seeing a lot, especially in the YouTube comments, talking about Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. Here's what I want to position for you, Tausch. Over the last 3 seasons, since Jordan Love took over as the starting quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, regular season, let's exclude the Cowboys playoff game in the first half against San Francisco in the divisional round. Are the 2 Thanksgiving days in Detroit the best games of Jordan Love's regular season careers?
No, the New Orleans comeback, I think you'd add right into that when I think they were down 18-0 and they came back and won. That would be right up there. Obviously, this year's game where he made the big throw and Wicks made the big boy catch. The game last year, Thanksgiving, no doubt both big wins. But I think anytime you're a young player trying to get that respect and earn your stripes in this league, you have to have some moments that give clarity to your teammates and to your fan base and to yourself that you are the guy. I felt like that moment in that game, it went from a lethargic, almost booing and like, what do we have here, to, okay, I think we might have something. I thought that was a really important moment in Jordan Love's career.
I agree, and I wasn't in the game. I was watching it at one of the nearby establishments in Green Bay, and the electricity.
You weren't in the game.
We went up.
When were you in?
Becca's family, we all got together. We all went
in
like
the stadium.
Yeah, we all went and tailgated in Green Bay. 2 of them went into the game. The rest of us stayed at one of the nearby establishments and watched the game, and then we all hung out afterward and went home after. And so watching the game. In a few-minute walk from Lambeau Field, you're still around a bunch of Packers fans. The environment is awesome, and you capture a little bit of that. It's not the same as being in the stadium, but a lot of that game environment translates to those nearby establishments, and you could feel the energy pick up as Jordan Love was leading that fourth-quarter comeback against the Saints. So I'm agreeing with you that was a big one. But when you look at what that Thanksgiving Day game against Detroit in 23 meant for the run ultimately to get into the playoffs so we could have that game against Dallas. And then you look at what you talk about putting 4 quarters together. I think the game that you could say they put the best 4 quarters together all season long this year was Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. That felt like the most complete game that the Packers played. And that was part of that winning streak that would have propelled them to a potential 1 seed if Micah Parsons doesn't go down in Denver. Now,
I would say offensively, I agree. My point is, you hear Luke Fickell and you hear every coach I've ever listened to talk about complementary football and the way you step on throats, which is something we all believe Green Bay needs to be better at, is it can't just be one side of the ball holding up its end and doing what they do for 4 quarters. It needs to be both. And if you want to look at the Bears' first game down in Chicago, offensively, they moved the ball, but they got stopped on a 4th down. They fumbled the snap. The defense played 55 or 56 great minutes of football, but the offense didn't do its part to step on a throat, and you leave yourself vulnerable to a fumbled onside kick. So while you can say, well, they did this, and that was great, it can't just be that one side of the football does it. And when you basically eliminate one full unit from making plays and doing things that are difference-making, which why I've been so hard on Bisaccia and the special teams is because they don't. They've only hurt us. Block kicks, block punt. And I know the block punt I'm thinking about is long ago, but those missed field goals, momentum changing, not having any semblance of a punt return. Seattle, 8 touchdowns this season, not by the offense. Green Bay, if Jason's fact-checking was correct yesterday, 0, and I don't even think anything close. The margin in the league is small. 8-0 with that, that's the difference between a 1 and a 7 seed big time, and that's why Seattle's still playing. And why Seattle's got a really good chance to win a world championship this year.
One last comment before we close the book on this portion of the conversation. Jane just brought this up in the YouTube comments, and I don't think she intended it to come across this way, but this is how I'm reading what she's saying and then interpreting. I remember so many more great moments with Aaron Rodgers than I do with this season. Maybe it's because I see them on reruns. Is there something to be said about great moments not standing out over the last couple of seasons because of the play of Jordan Love and the offense compared to the Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers leading the offense?
I think that's a little bit misleading because the touchdown to Watson in the Bears game and to Bo Melton, there were some big plays but in the same respect, you get to the end of that game, you don't move the football, I think, against Chicago. You don't get it done. You need to do special things in the special moments. So I don't think it's fair to just put it on Jordan, because that same argument that Jane's making, people would say about Aaron Rodgers, the Tampa game, the San Fran game, these gut-wrenching losses that you saw in the playoffs. They literally would say the exact same thing. Well, Patrick Mahomes did it. Tom Brady stunk in the second half against the Green Bay Packers in that NFC Championship game. He stunk. But their defense was enough, and that was a god-awful first half that we played, and that led to Tampa being able to hold on. We have not figured out that formula yet. They got turnovers in that game. We got turnovers in that game. They cashed in. We didn't.
844-770-3776. You're going to want to know that phone number because right now it is time to play Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Cousin Subs and by Iron Jock. Caller, Hunter, what caller number would you like to take? We'll let you pick today. I want to be nice to you back there.
I've got that $8 million that Freddie Peralta was owed on my mind, so I think we go caller 8.
Caller 8. All right. You're still angry about the Brewers, I see. 844.
No, I'm cool with the Brewers.
770-3776. Caller 8 to play Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock. Today's trivia category, I thought this was an appropriate theme today. Baby, it's cold outside. Questions about freezing cold things. It's kind of a loose category.
We got to get the Chippewa Falls.
Well, kind of. It's a smorgasbord of cold. Caller number 8, 844-770-3776. In honor of the cold temperatures, baby, it's cold outside. Today's trivia category, Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock, is coming up next on Wilde and Tausch.
College basketball Saturday. It's an ACC Top 25 showdown. The 22nd ranked North Carolina Tar Heels head to Charlottesville to face the 14th ranked Virginia Cavaliers. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, and while I'll admit I'd rather be gearing up to see Green Bay playing this weekend, I'm still feeling good on a Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints. With only a couple of weekends left of football for this season, it might be time to start thinking about getting to work on your next paint project around the house. And just like the pro football players we love watching on Sundays, I recommend doing what my family did and get connected with the pro painters from Home and Lindsay for your next project. Choosing the pros is the way to go. Just stop into any Madison area Home and Lindsay location, ask, and they'll help find the pro painters best suited for what you need. And remember, Home and Lindsay Paints is the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. Home and Lindsay, great paint, great people, and stick around for Feel Good Friday, coming up to close out today's show, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. All January at Steinhoffels, test rest any mattress. Get a $20 lunch gift card, and Steinhoffels donates $20 to Special Spaces Wisconsin, only at Steinhoffels. Luke Fickle on Wilde and Tausch detailing Wisconsin's off-season tackling of the portal. Fickle on why he and his staff acted swiftly, resulting in a massive 32 transfer pickup.
You had to be, strategically placed in a way that, hey, when this thing opens, if we're not in a position to have a chance to sign guys immediately, you have a small window. We were aggressive, and we had to grow beyond, our comfort zones.
Get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. With exclusive features and customized for every home, Pella provides the highest quality products at a price you can afford. Go to PellaWI.com. PellaWI.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life. Hey, my name is Stacy Bruner. I was Bucky Badger from 2010 to 2014. My most memorable sports moment was running out the flag at the 2013 Rose Bowl versus Stanford. Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
Buying a new vehicle should be exciting, and that's what Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb aims to do. That's why they vow to give you the better buying experience. Jim Rutledge here. I've had 3 better buying experiences at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, and I keep on going back because the experience and the Chevy is fantastic. So if you're looking for a buying experience, you're going to want to repeat anytime you need a new or new-to-you vehicle, I recommend you make the short drive out to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, because you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. If you're still working on your New Year's resolutions, right now, congrats! You've officially made it past Quitter's Day. More than 70% of people give up by now, so take your win. Iron Jock wants to reward you. From now through January 27th, our listeners can get 30% off any Iron Jock purchase over $75 when you use promo code ESPN30. And you also score a free 3-pack of Iron Jock socks at $25 value. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Denver Nuggets.
Portis with a head fake, steps to his left, and he knocks down the 3.
Tonight on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch. Jason on assignment. He'll be back on Monday's show. Before we get to trivia, one nugget from the National Football League. ESPN's Adam Schefter sharing that former Indianapolis Colts and Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers, who returned to the NFL to play for the Colts this season, is interviewing for the Buffalo Bills head coach job.
Wow.
He's a high school football coach. The year of Phillip Rivers just continues to astound us. He is now interviewing for the Buffalo Bills head coach job after they fired Sean McDermott after losing in the divisional round of the playoffs. Tausch, your thoughts?
Buffalo's ownership is, I don't know what word I want to use, but the way that they handled this week and Sean McDermott and everything involved was complete. It just was. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And if they go ahead and hire Phillip Rivers, great. I don't think that's going to get them over the hump. Buffalo went from a team that I think a lot of people that didn't have a dog in the race were rooting for. I watched that owner and what he did, and I will not root for Buffalo again. Even though I like Josh Allen, I have some people I know that are in that organization. I want them to do well. That guy made it really hard to root for the Buffalo Bills.
I did not know that the Buffalo Bills were that much of a mess at the top of their organization, but it turns out here we are.
It's a great example. It's a great example of sometimes not saying anything. It's like a backup quarterback that never has to play. There's a little mystery about him. There's a reason that I think a lot of these owners don't talk to the media, even though their egos want them to. If I was old boy advising Pagula, he ain't ever getting in front of a microphone again.
Mm-hmm. Time now for trivia presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Cousin Subs. Cousin Subs $10 deal meal gives you a 7.5-inch sub, bag of chips or regular fries, fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal is only available online or through the Cousins app. And Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance. And proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com.
Today's contestant, Tucker in Wausau. Good morning, Tucker, and I hear congratulations are in order for you. Would you like to tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, so I know how Wilde and Tausch Trivia loves the first-time callers. Well, I have a first-time caller in a sense because I am holding a 17-day-old daughter right here with me. I'm feeding her as I'm doing trivia.
Congratulations, Tucker. That's awesome.
Thank you. We were listening to the show up to the Bears playoff game in the NICU. She was in there for a couple days, but she's doing great. Mom is doing great, and she's settling down, and she's excited to help me out with trivia here. My low light of the season for the Packers is that my daughter has never witnessed a Packer victory in her life.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, it's going to be a little while.
Better days ahead, Tucker. Better days ahead.
I know.
Baby, it's cold outside is today's trivia category in honor of this crazy weather going on around the state of Wisconsin.
No,
and the
it's in honor of Tucker's baby. What are you talking about?
No, baby, it's cold outside. Sure. Yeah,
there you
I've heard it
go.
both ways. My favorite thing that's going on, it's very wholesome in the YouTube comments today. Everyone's just sharing what the temperature is outside in their respective communities. Tucker.
Any soup recipes? Can we get some soup recipes?
And we're still looking for the soup recipes. Start sharing those in the YouTube comments. Tucker, how cold is it outside in Wausau?
It was negative 24 when I did a Target run this morning.
That's normal temp, right? That's not feels like?
Yeah, that's what my truck said on the on the dash.
Holy smokes. All right. Well, it's cold. Go ahead, Tausch.
No, I was going to say, we were supposed to be playing hockey up in D.C. Everest today, and that got canceled because it's negative 24 with probably negative 50, I would think, feels like. So that's a bummer.
Would have been up in Tucker's region of the state. All right, Tucker, Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock. Question number 1 is this. What is the name of the 2004 disaster movie starring Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal, in which a scientist must brave the elements of a storm, sending the planet into a new ice age to save his son in New York City? Is that movie...
The Day After Tomorrow.
Ah, man, Tucker. You're right.
Why are you poo-pooing? We love when people preemptively answer.
Because I wanted to give the options. The Day After Tomorrow, Tomorrow Never Dies.
You wrote a funny quip.
Or The Day Ahead of Tomorrow in the Lost column. I thought was a pretty good line that I wanted to share
Not
with
bad.
you. Thank you. Question number 2, Tucker. Now you can answer whenever you want. The temperature at which pure water freezes in 32 degrees. I'm sorry, I messed it up. Let me say it again. The temperature, I don't do this normally. The temperature at which pure water freezes is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which translates to how many degrees on the Celsius temperature scale?
0.
Didn't even need it. Nicely done. Tucker's got his cold down pat. That's 3 entries. We're going for a perfect 4 for 4 here if you can get question number 3. According to data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in 2024, that's the NOAA, Tausch, Alaska is the U.S. state with the lowest average temperature, as we would expect. Which state is second coldest on average?
Oh, I think I know this one.
Is it North Dakota, Maine, or Washington?
Oh.
I am going to go with North Dakota. Washington's a little temperate. It's like 50 there probably right now. It's just rainy. So I think North Dakota.
Tausch, your option wasn't on there. What were you going to say?
I was going to go Minnesota. I always think Minnesota's the second coldest.
The correct answer...
So I would go North Dakota.
...is North Dakota. Nicely done. Everybody's got it right. Tucker, you're 3 for 3. That means you've got all 4 entries and are drawing a little later in the show for our Iron Jock and Cousin Subs prize pack. Congratulations. You have never gotten a question in Wilde and Tausch Trivia wrong since the birth of your daughter. Nicely done.
That's right. Hope to keep it that way in future contests.
Well done, Tucker. Congratulations.
Although the last
again.
time I won, I only got 1 right. I had 1 entry, I think, and I actually won the prize pack. So getting them right doesn't mean too much. As we've
that means
shown many times.
I wouldn't get your hopes up today then. Tucker, congratulations.
That's right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye. Love you guys.
Bye. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Love Tucker. Congrats.
Yep, Tucker and Wausau.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
We
fun.
love hearing news like that from our fans. There's our Feel Good Friday vibes coming back here.
Yes.
Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason's on assignment. He'll be back on Monday. When we come back, we will start to look ahead. It is conference championship weekend. Is this the least juice there's ever been heading into a conference championship weekend?
Don't be like that.
Stop it, Jesse.
We'll talk about it in 2 minutes. Stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here, and your seat at the table just got better at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Return to Hard Rock Casino Rockford's high-limit room, where the odds are in your favor. With enhanced game rules, including blackjack, where the dealer stands on soft 17, you'll enjoy better odds, faster play, and the kind of authentic high-limit action that sets Hard Rock Casino Rockford apart. Visit the high-limit room and rediscover your game on your terms, in your rhythm, and with your edge at Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
This is Wisconsin linebacker Mason Posa.
Mason Bosa shuts the door.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors. Trusted and local experts providing the best quality roof, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed at an affordable price. Get your free estimate today at ridgetopexteriors.com. What the heck is going on with Giannis and the Bucks? ESPN's NBA insider Brian Windhorst was on First Take yesterday, and he thinks a trade is becoming more and more likely.
More likely by the hour, honestly. More likely by the hour. And I think really what this kind of is, nobody wants to be the bad guy, but everybody wants the best term.
As the trade deadline goes closer and closer, stay up to date on all things Bucks related and Giannis related by heading over to ESPN.com. Speaking of the Bucks, they're at home tonight as they host the Denver Nuggets. The Bucks are currently 6.5-point favorites for that 8:30 tip-off. Coverage will start at 8 p.m. right here on Madison's home for Milwaukee Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. We've got Hour 3 of Wilde and Tausch starting right now.
Metro.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. I'm Jesse Nelson, normally the producer of the show. Today I'm the host of the show, Jason Wilde, on assignment. He will be back on Monday's show alongside the Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Hunter Vaughn, our cousin sub of the day, producing the show here in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison. We're going to talk about the conference championship games coming up here in just a minute because it is conference championship weekend. We've barely mentioned some of that throughout the course of this week with everything that's been going on. But I did want to mention this first. So earlier today on the show, Rob Demovsky, ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter, joined us. We were talking about all the different coordinators and some of the news going on around Green Bay, especially that defensive coordinator position that is open and interviews are ongoing. And Rob shared this with us earlier today in regards to Jim Leonhard's potential to return to the state of Wisconsin and become the Packers defensive coordinator.
Coordinators, and I don't think anything happens until he can talk to Jim Leonhard. I think Jim Leonhard's high on his list. He obviously can't talk to him. And I got to be honest with you, there's some debate about when they actually can talk to him if the Broncos win. I thought I was.
That's a portion of what Rob shared earlier with us today. You can find the full interview available on the ESPN Wisconsin app as well as the ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. But that was pretty significant, Tausch, not only to us, but it's also picking up some traction on social media as we've seen the clip shared in a couple of different spots here throughout the course of the show. So, again, your reaction when you heard Rob share that information with us during his appearance, what do you think it means for the outlook here for the Packers defensive coordinator spot and Jim Leonhard's potential to return?
It felt to me as if it's Jimmy Leonhard's job to lose if he wants it. That's how I interpret it. Now, whether or not that's accurate, that's my interpretation. But whether or not the reporting the first time around, Jimmy did take it, he didn't. He turned the job down. He wasn't offered it. Obviously, there was a ton of interest. Jimmy decided he was going to stay in college, stay closer to his family. And Rob's point, well, now he's out in Denver. His family's still here. What's closer? There's always a process. Jim obviously was probably pretty disappointed he didn't get that head coaching job at Wisconsin. He took a beat, and then he decided to get back into it, and Sean Payton put him as the assistant head coach. He is highly respected. He did a fantastic job as the defensive coordinator at the University of Wisconsin. I said he got the most out of that talent. He is a great schemer of what he can utilize his talent and find ways to create mismatches. He's from the Rex Ryan school, Mike Pettin school of pressure, pressure, pressure. Matt LaFleur, that is his school. That's what he wants. So he had interest 3 years ago. Why would he not have interest now? It would make a ton of sense. And the longer, and you brought this up, Jesse, the longer this goes on, he's had interviews. Al Harris has been in. Gannon's been in. If he isn't pulling the trigger on any of these guys, and it drags into next week, and the Broncos win, you get the sense, maybe, I don't know how this all works, when he can talk to Jimmy. Rob's initial thoughts made me think this is going to be his guy. And I couldn't be more excited if that is indeed what happens.
It's not often where you hear a name that's so familiar to the fan base and that actually ends up being the guy that gets hired. We've been down this road before. I mean, heck, we go down this road with trades and drafts and free agents and all this stuff. You find a name that you're familiar with, and you're like, oh, that'd be awesome to have that guy in town. I want him. And then it ends up being some guy you've never heard of before or know very little about. This feels different just based on the way that Jason has talked about it, the way that Rob has talked about it, and the way that no one's denying anything on this front at this point. So I think let's find out what happens with the Broncos this week. I hope that they lose now on Sunday, as much as I'd love to see Jim Leonhard have a chance to go win a Super Bowl with the Broncos. Kind of hope they lose so that this thing gets moving a little faster for us. And let's see what goes on. If he ends up coming in for an interview, and we'll go from there. But it would be awful exciting for a lot of Wisconsin fans of all the different sports in this state if Jim Leonhard were to be in prime contention, as it sounds like he may be, to become the next Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator. Speaking of the conference championship games, I think this is the least juice I can remember there being for a conference championship weekend. All right. Hold the phone on the buzzer, Hunter. We'll get there. You got Seahawks, Rams, West Coast, Best Coast, and then you got Broncos, Patriots, who are like Jared Stidham and Drake May are going at it. Sean Payton and Mike Vrabel, I guess they're kind of proven head coaches. Like, that just no one knows anything about the Seahawks. Pretty much the amount of Seahawks football everybody around here has watched was mostly last week against the 49ers on Saturday night. The Rams have Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford, and there's kind of a fun story there. But overall, like, there's no Mahomes, there's no Brady, there's no true villain in this group that you're cheering against, and there's no true underdog that you're really pulling for either. I just think this is a really lackluster conference championship Final Four that we're looking at here for the NFL playoffs this weekend.
There's no true underdog. You have a quarterback playing his first game of the season. He hasn't played a game in 800 days. What the hell are you talking about? There's no true underdog. This is Disney stuff. This guy comes out and plays a great game and wins. Sam Darnold's been cast aside by every team he can imagine. Matthew Stafford's trying to solidify himself as one of the all-time greats by getting a second Super Bowl and winning the MVP. And then the Patriots, oh, God, they're back. Like, there's storylines everywhere here. I don't understand what the hell you're talking about.
These teams in particular, I think sports are best when you have a true villain to root against. The Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots dynasties became those villains. The Miami Heat with LeBron James became the villain. Kentucky with John Calipari in the NCAA tournament, or Duke with Coach K. Good villains. There's no villain in this group. The Patriots, Mr. Kraft, are they supposed to be the villain of this group? Is Sean Payton supposed to be the villain of this group? He can't be if he's the lovable underdog with the starting quarterback that's in the Disney movie for the first time this weekend. The Rams are obviously not the villain. Like, Devontae Adams, we're kind of pulling for him and Stafford to go and win one.
Well, you're changing the narrative, man. You said there's no juice and there's no interest. I just gave you there's 100 storylines.
I mean, because it's the NFL playoffs, I'm going to watch it, but do I feel passionate about cheering for any team in particular or against any team in particular? And for that reason, do I think the storylines are lessened compared to past seasons? Absolutely, I do. Hunter?
So I think your problem here, Jesse, is actually the fact that you regularly have had a rooting interest because the Packers go deep enough in the playoffs where the team that just beat them in the divisional round is then playing the next week. So you have that, or the Packers are playing in the NFC Championship. As a fan of the Cowboys and a franchise that I haven't seen them play in an NFC Championship game in over 30 years now, it will be, you just got to enjoy the ball this weekend. Having zero rooting interest in any of the teams, just go out there and watch football and enjoy it. Don't worry about storylines. Don't worry about any of that. Just go and enjoy it. You haven't experienced enough meaningless football in your life to know what a weekend like this is, and that's why you feel this way.
Jesse.
I suppose you are uniquely qualified to share that advice with me. I appreciate that.
I've had 30 years of it.
Last year you had Chiefs-Bills, Mahomes versus Josh Allen. That was juicy. You had the divisional matchup, Eagles-Commanders, with the Commanders being this out-of-nowhere Jaden Daniels rookie season against the Eagles, who were starting to try what we thought to build was a bit of a dynasty there with Jalen Hurts. Like, there were other storylines last year and even this past number. I mean, this is the first time in forever that Mahomes or Brady are not in the AFC Championship game. Like,
Tom Brady hasn't played in 4 years.
That's my point. Look how long it's been that where there has been a dynasty quarterback, an all-time great, playing on conference championship weekend, and the best quarterback we're looking at this weekend is Matthew
Stafford can elevate himself with another big playoff run to put himself in that category.
Not the Mahomes and Brady category. Not like
he will elevate if he wins a second championship. He elevates himself in the all-time list. He does. You could make an argument
him above
right
Favre
now.
if he gets a second ring.
Favre and Rodgers, while talent-wise would be this thing is about pelts. And if Matthew Stafford wins the MVP this year, which he's probably going to, even though Christian McCaffrey should have, and goes and wins a championship and an MVP, Matthew Stafford will be viewed by some as better than Favre and Rodgers. Those are the facts. That's the importance of winning in the postseason. Whether or not I agree with that, I wouldn't, but there will be some that do. And when you're talking about all-time greats, Stafford pulls this off, he will be considered in the all-time great category. Those are the facts.
I think there's a worthwhile conversation that we may look to have when Jason returns to the show about the legacy of Matthew Stafford should the Rams beat the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game this weekend. We did post a poll this morning, by the way, at Wilde and Tausch on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. With the Packers eliminated, which team remaining are you pulling for to win the Super Bowl? Have you seen the returns on this poll yet, Tausch?
I have not. I would assume.
You want to guess?
I would assume there is a lot of affinity for Devontae J. Adams, and there should be. He was one of the all-time great wideouts in Green Bay Packer history. I would think that since we don't have another dog in the fight and the Bears are out of it, I would think people would be pulling for Devontae.
You would be correct. 61% of our fans on Twitter voting for the Los Angeles Rams as the team they want to see win the Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks at 23% of the vote in second place in this poll, which I thought was interesting. 11% for Denver and only 6% for New England.
I think we're all sick of New England. Their horrible stretch ends up lasting 3 or 4 years. And people are like, come on.
I've completely turned the page on New England. I view them as an underdog, and like this is an entirely different franchise from when Brady and Belichick were there. I don't think of them the same at all.
I don't need to see them win. I would say they'd be fourth on my list, too. And I like Mike Vrabel a lot. I think he's an awesome coach. I think he's a good dude. But no. And Elliott Wolf's up there. You know what? The Wolf factor, I got to change that. I am a big fan. Obviously, I love Ron Wolf. I'm a big fan of Elliott. So I got to flip that. I can't be mad at New England.
So okay,
new group.
Tell me, Nostra Tausch, who will be the winners this weekend that will be contending for the Super Bowl in Santa Clara?
It's going to be Seattle and it's going to be Denver. It's the year of the 1 seed. And it's the year, I think Stidham, I just think that Sean Payton will have a plan and the story's too juicy to not come to fruition. That's what I think happens.
You think we get Jared Stidham versus Sam Darnold in Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara?
That is what I think happens. Yes, indeed.
Wow. All right. Well, conference championship weekend is coming up, and that means we also will want to get to our prize picks of the weekend because, as some are pointing out, you can always win some money on the games this weekend. That's one way to keep them interesting if you feel like there's not enough juice. So we'll try to do that coming up next. Plus, there's a special promotion going on prize picks this weekend that we got to make sure we take advantage of. Our prize picks of the week for conference championship weekend coming up next. It's Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Truck crash? Call Gruber offices. One call, that's all.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution, and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
What was that? It was just me or, I got such a bargain. Poorly constructed sofa falling apart.
I just bought you.
Yeah, well, I did just turn 3, that's 67 in sofa years. I am so ready to retire and move to Miami.
I knew I should have listened to my mother and bought that other sofa from Steinhafels. It was so strong and comfy.
Tired of furniture that doesn't hold up to its end of the bargain? Steinhafels has quality furniture for every style and budget. Relax. It's Steinhafels.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
When a heart stops, the clock starts. You are the first responder until help arrives. In that moment, 4 minutes equals brain damage. 6 minutes equals too late in an emergency. The first responder is you. We need you. Will you be ready? Learn CPR. Visit heart.org/nation. That's heart.org/nation.
Condon Jewelers, Condon
east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
I was afraid that college would be like high school. I worried about starting over and feeling alone. But I'm so glad I didn't let that stop me. At Madison College, I'm part of a community, and I've never felt alone. My instructors have been incredible, and I made so many friends and connections. My advice to others, don't let your fears stop you. There's more to your story at Madison College.
Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
Greg Scalzo here for Buckin' Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buckin' Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buckin' Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buckin' Honeys.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason will be back on Monday reacting to the results of Conference Championship Weekend. We look ahead to Conference Championship Weekend with our prize picks of the week. And there is a nice one on the board for us, Tausch. 0.5 passing yards in a special discount for Seattle Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold. 0.5 passing yards for... I'm trying to think of what we call him for seeing ghosts, and I can't come up with a good
Casper
nickname. Yeah, Casper Darnold. That's not bad. We can work with that. So we got to take advantage of that one for sure this weekend, and now we'll see what else we want to play. I came up with a few.
Well, he's got that oblique. You never know,
it's
right?
true.
But yeah, you feel good about that. It's always, and I don't know how your approach is on prize picks. Do you then just take the gimme with you do something else, or do you try to really parlay it?
Homer taught me this one a while back. What you can do, because I think it's however much you can use. You can, like, if it's a $10 max,
like $6.
You can take the guaranteed win and pair that up with one win and one loss, like the same projection on another one. No matter what, you're going to win it then, assuming he throws for one passing yard. Or you can put that into a larger play, and you get a guaranteed, 1 out of 5 or 6, and then if you can hit the other ones you feel pretty good about, then you got a big payday coming your way. So I've done both.
You don't play for ties.
All right. Well,
you do that, you might as well not even play.
I feel pretty good about the list that I've put together for what I want to pick this week, and I want to see if you agree with me on some of these. So let's go. Jared Stidham, your guy, Disney movie. More or less than 199.5 passing yards against the New England Patriots defense on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not touching Stidham with that. I mean, I think Sean Payton's going to really work the run game and some play action. They're going to lean on playing possession, good defense, and I think looking at the Patriots, they have to look at this game and play very conservative too. Because Denver's pass rush is really good. New England's having a hard time protecting Drake May. He's turning the ball over. He's getting stracked. I think that's going to be the formula. So if I had a pick, I would go less. But I think Stidham's going to play good football, solid, not make mistakes. And with their O-line being able to kind of, I think, hold up against New England, I think he's going to have opportunities. But that number is about right where I would expect him to be, and that's why I don't feel great about it.
I see that being a very low-scoring, very quick game.
Too.
A lot of running the football, long possessions. I could see that being how this game plays out on Sunday. Hunter, feel free to chime in here, too, if you feel any particular way on any of these.
Yeah, this game feels like a bit throwback to the Big Ten West. type of game, it's going to be gross. We're going to see a lot of punting, I think. I don't think Stidham gets there. I think Drake May also struggles, too, in this game. But, yeah, I don't think Stidham gets over 199.5.
So with that in mind, I had Ramondre Stevenson more than 48.5 rushing yards. I like that. Henderson has kind of become more of their guy as the season's gone on, but Ramondre Stevenson in a grinded-out game, 48.5 is not that much. Even though Denver's defense is good, I like him getting over that number. How about you, Tausch?
Yeah, I get along on that. I think, as we just said, I think this is going to be a ground and pound and give opportunities. And he's kind of gotten over the hump on his fumbles. That was the big problem with him early in the season. Give him some opportunities, and all it takes is one big run. But it does feel like both teams are going to be very methodical, especially the road team with the crowd noise and with some of the problems they're having protecting their quarterback. I would expect a lot of opportunities in the run game, and 48, I think you can get there. So, yeah, I would go more on him as well.
All right, let's go to the NFC Championship game. Matthew Stafford, more or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's hit more on 1.5 passing touchdowns in each of his last 5 games, including 2 playoff games against Carolina and the Bears. I like more, even though Seattle's defense is pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, I like more, too. They're going to have to throw it. I don't think they're going to have a ton of success running the football against them. And you're trying to elevate yourself to that next level. You have Puka, who I don't think anybody can really stop, and Devontae's healthy. I feel like Sean McVay is going to have some stuff, and I think it's going to be leaning on his Hall of Fame quarterback to get it done, and I think they're going to lean on it. And with Devontae being as good in the red zone as he is, I think 2 touchdowns is definitely doable.
Hunter, make it 3 for 3?
Yeah,
All
I don't know how, the Rams are going to move the ball through the air if they're going to move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, so it just feels like that's one where they're like, okay, well, we'll give you this one, but we're not going to say that we're giving you this one.
Davante Adams was pretty limited against the Bears. He only had 24 yards against Chicago last weekend. His projections at 4.
What a play on that catch, though.
Incredible catch on the sideline. 49.5 receiving yards for Davante Adams. You want to go with the former Packers receiver?
Yes. Yeah, I think
like that.
Because if I'm Seattle, I'm looking at it and I'm going to say I can't let Puka. Even though Puka's going to get his, you have to look around, and I think when push comes to shove, Davante in a big boy game like this, he's going to want to shine. I just trust Davante Adams.
I might even like this one better. Davante, 0.5 rushing receiving touchdowns, has the little ghoulie guy next to it, which means you get increased odds on that one. I like Davante to score a touchdown against Seattle on Sunday night.
I do, too.
So
I like that a lot.
I think I might hop on with that one.
I like that one a lot more than even the yards.
Okay, well, we're in agreement there then. He is dealing with a hamstring injury, but I like him getting into the end zone. All right, any other projections? Those are the ones that I like this weekend, Tausch. Anyone else that you feel strongly one way or another about?
Yeah, what is Stafford's passing yards? Because I think Stafford's going to have a day throwing the football. What is his number throwing?
255.5, which he has gone more on each of his last 5 games.
Yeah, I'm going more there. I feel I feel like this is, especially if Seattle gets out to a lead, they're going to have to do that, and I think it's going to be a really good football game. And I think Stafford's going to have to lead the charge on that. So I like more. What I think I'm going to do on my prize picks this week, I'm obviously going to take the Darnold. I'm going to take Stafford more on yards, and I think I'm going to go with Davante more than 0.5 touchdowns. I'm going to put those 3. I usually like sticking with 3. That's what I'm going to ride with this weekend.
All right. I'll ride with you. Conference championship weekend just got a whole lot more exciting, and it is in large part thanks to Prize Picks.
Indeed, Prize Picks is the easiest way to play daily fantasy. You build your lineup in under 60 seconds. It just took us 4 minutes. We went through all of the opportunities that you have, and there are a ton on Prize Picks. We're going more on Stafford. Yards passing. The freebie, again, if you've been hesitant, I don't know. Use the promo code WI. Get on, download the Prize Picks app. They're giving you $50. You just play that $5 lineup. If you want to go with just 2 and you think Devontae's going to score a tutter, Sam Darnold 0.5, check. Devontae gets a tutter, boom, you get that, and you get another 50 in your account. Plus you win. Again, use that code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good
to be right. I don't normally fill that role here. By the way, you sign up today, you play $5, you get the $50 instantly, you have the Darnold option to play this weekend, and 40% boost on a flex play today because it's Flex Friday. Just opted into that promo on my Prize Picks as we were reviewing the different options.
Now, is that only for Fridays?
No,
action,
you can do any. So we could do the games we just picked on Sunday. We could do those projections, and you could opt in today. And as long as you enter today, you get that 40% flex boost.
Okay, so you're telling me the deadline is today. You bid it in. You don't have to fly by today. You can actually fly later. That's what you're telling me.
That is what I'm telling you, yeah.
So really, the only place that the deadline, the only place the deadline isn't the deadline is on airlines. That is what I'm learning from today's thing on Prize Picks.
Well, if you had a restaurant gift certificate and it was due by January 31st and you called to book a reservation for dinner on February 3rd to pay with your gift certificate, I'm sure they would say, no, that doesn't count. That's expired.
Not if they're a good business, they won't.
Won't Ellie featuring Hunter Vaughn is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and while I'll admit I'd rather be gearing up to see Green Bay playing this weekend, I'm still feeling good on a Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints. With only a couple of weekends left of football for this season, it might be time to start thinking about getting to work on your next paint project around the house. And just like the pro football players we love watching on Sundays, I recommend doing what my family did and get connected with the pro painters from Home and Lindsay for your next project. Choosing the pros is the way to go. Just stop into any Madison area Home and Lindsay location, ask, and they'll help find the pro painters best suited for what you need. And remember, Home and Lindsay Paints is the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. Home and Lindsay, great paint, great people, and stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out today's show, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints.
Hold your friends close and your rivals closer on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I don't think firing Matt LaFleur is the right answer. That just sets the Packers back how many years, because you're just going to have to learn a completely new offense. It's going to be a completely new guy coming in. You went in to get Micah Parsons, so you go in to go get a Super Bowl. You cannot afford the time it's going to take to restructure this entire team with a new head coach.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Keep it right here after Wilde and Tausch, and join us for the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
What's new at Zimbrick Chevrolet? A lot. A free car wash with every service, plus a brand new detail facility to keep your ride looking fresh all year long. Relax with coffee and snacks while you wait, and if you can't, grab one of their numerous service loaners, take the shuttle, or even get a lift on them. Plus, Zimbrick Chevrolet has the largest new Chevrolet inventory in southern Wisconsin, and you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. I've been telling you for a while now how much I've loved Pizza Hut since I was a kid, and I love making new memories enjoying it with my family today. Looking for an easy win for lunch or dinner? Pizza Hut's My Hut Box lets you choose your entree. A personal pan pizza, a melt, or now, wings. Boneless or traditional wings start at just $7.99. One box, tons of options, all day, every day. Order on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut, feed good times, and remember, no one outpizzas the Hut.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison is giving away $85,000 in cash this month in our double rollover jackpot. There will be 5 drawings every Tuesday and Friday throughout January. 10 winners every week. But you have to be here because if the winner isn't present, their prize rolls over to the next jackpot. Every Tuesday drawing is for $1,000 and Friday drawings are for $2,000. Then on Friday, January 30th, there are 5 $5,000 prizes. Don't let time tick away. Get to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
We're on the Badgers.
The coaches, the players, we're bringing an entire new mindset.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And it's to win. It's to win.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason on assignment. He will return on Monday. Hunter Vaughn is in as our Cousin Sub of the Day producing the show. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Speaking of Cousin Subs and Iron Jock, it is time now to draw our trivia winner for the week before we get to Whoa Nelly with Hunter Vaughn. Hunter has the honors of pulling from the cheese fry helmet. It's a good sound even on this end of things when I'm not the one drawing it. All right, Hunter, who we have?
Our winner this week, the new dad, Tucker in Wausau.
Today's contestant, Tucker in Wausau. A perfect day, a new father, and a winner of a prize pack from Cousin Subs and Iron Jock. Congratulations to Tucker in Wausau. Time now to turn it over to Hunter Vaughn. It's time for Whoa Hunter.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
So, Tausch, I know things have started to look good around the Badger basketball team. They got a big win over Penn State, or they won large. I mean, Penn State's not very good. But a tweet that I saw this morning from Nick Osen of 247 Sports, citing Bart Torvik, Wisconsin is the most efficient offense in the nation this month and has been a top 12 team overall since the calendar turned to 2026.
Oh, God.
Wisconsin, 5-1 in that stretch.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there yet.
Oh, boy.
But I was at the Purdue game. That was, I think, right after the New Year. That's the one
That was
loss
January
in
3rd,
January.
Yeah.
And it was ugly. And you started wondering, but the thing you love about Greg Gard, he just sticks with things, and it's not just we got these guys. You have to continue to tinker and find rotations that work and get that development. And with Boyd kind of popping and then different guys stepping up, you got your 2 horses that need to be your guys, and then you need to find those other guys to fill roles. It feels like Gardo's getting a really good hand on what kind of team he has. They're big. If this keeps rolling, I wouldn't be shocked by mid-February. Where's the Final Four at this year?
I don't know.
Where's the Final Four
I'll
at this
have
year?
to take a look.
I think it's Indy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
And if that is the case,
I think you're right.
I will be jumping on that bandwagon full tilt.
Did you see some of these stats from last night's game, by the way? The win against Penn State on the road?
No, Nolan Winter had a double-double, though.
I mean, I know they're awful, but Wisconsin's 27-point win, the team's largest Big Ten road win under Greg Gard, and matched the program's 6th largest in the NCAA tournament era since 1938.
Wow.
And then I got another one for you. Wisconsin's 98 points that they scored last night against Penn State, the most in a Big Ten road game since a 104-98 loss at Minnesota in 1971.
Oh, my goodness.
1938, 1971 stats are coming out here. That's what we're looking at offensively for the Wisconsin Badgers.
It's feeling good.
The vibes are strong, man. And I think we all want everything to always just go swimmingly. And you start understanding, especially now, both in football and basketball, and even in volleyball to a certain extent, you have to give some time for these players to figure out their role, to get comfortable, because it's not as easy as just accumulating a bunch of talent and saying, go win. Like, there is always going to be a process that you have to figure out what you're good at, how your team comes together, and then what the rotations will be and how that you're going to fit into that. It's just a different era, and I think Greg Gard has really done a good job of figuring that out.
Whoa, Nelly! We're going to go to the baseball world, and not because of any trades that the Brewers made, but it's a sad day in New York. The director of the New York Mets TV broadcasts announced he is stepping away. Now, the reason that matters, for those of you watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I've got a picture up here on the right is one of his shots. He recreated an image from Planet of the Apes during a broadcast. He's known for these incredibly artistic shots in the downtime of a baseball game, literally recreating things from like the Clint Eastwood Westerns. And he announced that he is going to be stepping away. So, unfortunately, the Mets broadcasts won't look as good anymore.
What?
What?
Huh?
Who cares?
I care. I think this is... I loved being able to see the screenshots of the different crazy things he did.
Are you breaking down Mets broadcasts? Like, how many Mets broadcasts are you watching?
I liked seeing they would literally...
but how did you even know about it? Like, are you a Brewers fan, right? Or am I crazy? Are you a Mets fan?
But people were tweeting about these shots and these images that they were putting together in the middle of a broadcast. It looked like a movie because he was recreating stuff from other movies to put within their broadcast.
Something from a movie. Go get me a volleyball. I'm going to put a volleyball in front of you. I'm recreating Forrest Gump or whatever that movie is with Tom Hanks.
Whoa,
what the hell are you talking about?
You guys are lame.
They're going to screen through. All of a sudden, you're looking through nylon mesh, and you're saying that's Clint Eastwood?
No, that image wasn't. The one going through the glasses, that's just... How many other... If you're watching a baseball game, you're telling me that they're doing stuff like that where the batter is in focus through someone's glasses?
I don't want to see that when I'm watching a baseball game. I think
Can't I just watch baseball?
I think this guy's doing too much. He's trying to be like this.
Oh, you're right.
Academy
With all the
Award.
action in a baseball game, heaven forbid you make it visually interesting when
Why
they're
don't
just
you go to an art
standing there.
museum? Hey, why don't you go to an art museum? If you want art, go to it. It's great. Art's awesome. But that?
So why can't you insert art into sports then?
Because it does.
Well, why don't we take a baseball into the Louvre and play catch?
If it's art, then great.
No, I'm serious.
You can mix art
Jesse,
into your
run
life.
a slant pattern by the Mona Lisa.
No,
and if you don't catch it, you're going to break the dang painting. Like, what? Not everything needs to be a mashup. We don't need to mash everything up.
You need to culture yourselves more. We should have more art in
culture
sports.
yourselves more.
Yeah, culture yourselves.
Sure. Yep.
I'm right here.
Let's use this lens
You're right
for the
that we
scene.
need more mashups.
Yep.
Yep.
Get
Hey,
more
run
art
the
in your
curl
life.
out by the Rodin statue over there. If you drop it, you break the leg off. No big deal. What the hell are you talking about?
Let's film from this perspective using this technique I learned in director school, and then let's run a 3 technique.
Sounds to me like this guy wanted to be a movie director and he ended up having to direct the Mets. And he's trying to make the best of it. That's
and
what
he
it sounds
did,
like.
and it was gorgeous, and it was incredibly entertaining.
That is gorgeous.
There's
That's
nothing
great
gorgeous
stuff.
about either of those shots. I'm thinking, hey, there's something in the way. Show me the...
I'm wondering, why is there a horse walking the shores of it looks like some type of ocean at a Mets game? Was it Gus the donkey, the kicking donkey? Look at that. There's a horse walking there right next
image.
So is half of the field
No.
now,
He doesn't get
here,
it.
Hunter, this could be something.
No, Tausch,
have an
hang on,
ocean
hang on.
as part of left field, and you have to catch it and dive
No.
in, and then you put synchronized swimming as part of baseball, because you can't just be baseball. You got to add other sports to it.
No.
God forbid the offense isn't interesting enough.
God forbid you just
This
go
is
watch a
just an
baseball game
example.
when you
You're
want to
not
watch a
letting me
baseball
talk.
game.
I'm done.
Go ahead, Hunter. Don't be a baby. Finish your point.
Oh, don't be a baby.
Don't be a
Oh,
baby.
we didn't start with you complaining about an airline at all today. This image is just an example of him recreating the shot using the Statue of Liberty for the broadcast. That's all it is. He wasn't putting that on the TV broadcast. That was someone else putting it on there. I think you guys just need to culture yourselves.
Just wait a second. He didn't even put that on the broadcast? That was somebody else putting it on his broadcast?
Oh, my God.
That was someone else showing the things he was doing. Like, they went through and, like, the different references he made in the broadcast to other movies.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a clue what the hell we just talked about. Like, so this guy is a baseball producer that wants to incorporate art into his
And
baseball
also
broadcast.
a fan of movies, yes. So he incorporated things from movies into the broadcasts.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Roll the credits.
Yeah. All I'm saying now is if we're all into mashing stuff up, I want to go into the Louvre and I want to throw passes right by the Mona Lisa because I want to have sports and art intertwined. That's what I'm looking for.
It looks like the YouTube chat's on my side, by the way.
It's pretty
I'm sure
split.
they are.
It's pretty
I'm
split.
Sure they are.
Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints.
Well, I didn't realize Hunter didn't like baseball to this degree. He'd rather
I love baseball.
He needs something. It doesn't seem like it. You need everything else besides to entertain you.
No, I just
than a
understand
baseball
there's
game.
so much downtime, so why not do something interesting instead of the same old thing every single time? Heaven forbid we ever innovate, try to improve anything. You're Mr. Improve Things, Tausch, but I show you guys an example of improving things, and you lose your minds, and I'm somehow the villain.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
I want to have – so you think outfielders, because there's so much downtime, should start crocheting out in the outfield? Like, hey, I don't know when a ball's coming. I need to get in a little art, and I'm going to start crocheting different things.
Now
Is
you're
that
being
what you're saying?
No, you're being ridiculous just to make this argument.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Hunter, this is ridiculous. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Congrats to this dude on
By
his
the way,
retirement.
I am going to say this. That was a great Wonelli. Not for the reasons Hunter probably thought going in. That was an entertaining Wonelli.
Feel Good Friday rounds out the week next on Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Packers
This 2 or 3 year window needs to yield a championship.
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
When you bring back everybody, Mr. Policy is telling you we're winning a championship.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. Luke Fickle on Wilde and Tausch detailing Wisconsin's off-season tackling of the portal. Fickle on why he and his staff acted swiftly, resulting in a massive 32 transfer pickup.
You had to be, strategically placed in a way that, hey, when this thing opens, if we're not in a position to have a chance to sign guys immediately, you have a small window. We were aggressive and we had to grow beyond, our comfort zones.
Get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. With exclusive features and customized for every home, Pella provides the highest quality products at a price you can afford. Go to PellaWI.com. PellaWI.com.
There's no chill on the deals at Metro Ford of Madison. Right now, get into a 2025 Ford F-150 with 2.9% APR for up to 66 months plus $2,000 retail bonus cash. Looking for something sporty? Check out the 2025 Ford Bronco Sport with 3.9% APR up to 66 months, $2,500 bonus cash. Or lease for $319 a month with $38.49 due at signing. But hurry, offer ends February 2nd. Visit MetroFordofMadison.com.
Everyone plays like a champion at TPC Wisconsin. Our friendly community shares one thing: a passion for world-class golf. Women, men, and youth golfers all love the course. The $25 million upgrade is impeccable, and the list of amenities is more than impressive. But belonging where the shared pursuit of excellence is a daily practice and not just a tagline? That might be the best part. Join today and pay no dues until April 1st. Discover belonging. TPCWisconsin.com.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Join before January 31st to get the lowest rates of 2026. Make sure you join the Princeton Club for a better tomorrow.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with AccuTrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use AccuTrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. AccuTrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution, and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Feel Good Friday, wrapping up the week on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. I want to give a special shout out here during Feel Good Friday. You know, it takes way more than just us around here to make this whole thing work at ESPN Wisconsin. One of our great marketing consultants here at ESPN Madison, her last day is today. Holly Yupa, transitioning to a new role with our ESPN Los Angeles team. Today, her last day in Madison. She wanted to plan a big bar crawl after work today.
No.
That bar crawl is going to turn more into a bar post-up, perhaps, for a few of us. But Holly's been an incredible bright spot of energy and enthusiasm and passion, and she's just an incredible teammate that we have here at our ESPN Madison office. And we're going to miss her, but we wish her the best as she returns to her home state of California, with her last day being today to join our ESPN LA team. So shout out to Holly, and along with all the other members of our marketing consultant, our sales marketing teams here at ESPN Wisconsin. They're all fantastic people, and Holly in particular today in her last day in Madison. Congratulations to her on a great run here in Madison, returning to California. That's it for Feel Good Friday here on Wilde and Tausch. Tausch, how did we do today without Jason?
I thought it was a fun show. I thought Hunter was the highlight. Hunter's
Thank
Hunter
you.
was the highlight of the show.
It was an artistic show nonetheless. Next time you're in, Hunter, a little more,
okay,
special camera shots and whatnot would be
Perfect.
appreciated in honor of the Mets director. Jason will return on Monday, as he always says. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch? Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.